WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. Blue Raider baseball is on the air. From the Blue Raider Network, it's time for Countdown to First Pitch. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance and Agent Andy Womack, Lightning's Locker Room and Phillips Bookstore, Granis and Associates, Las Casas Drugs, and by Middle Tennessee Electric. Now, let's go to the ballpark.
It's another hot afternoon in Miami, Florida, and the only thing hotter than the temperature is the baseball on display at FIU Baseball Stadium. With the opening chapter of this weekend series having been written last night, Middle Tennessee has an opportunity to do something they have not accomplished in 2 years, win a Conference USA Road Series. However, FIU is looking for redemption and a response after last night's crushing loss to MTSU in an absolute barn burner. Who will take momentum and power here in Miami this afternoon? It's the Blue Raiders and the Panthers, and it's time. Welcome back here on WGNS and the Blue Raider Network. Dylan Simmons with you once again on our pregame show, and we are set for a vital game number 2 between FIU and Middle Tennessee right here at the FIU Baseball Stadium this Saturday afternoon. Last night, MTSU got off to a rocket-style start with 8 runs in the top half of the second inning to take an 8-0 lead on FIU and would spend most of the rest of the game trying to hold on to that lead against the hard-charging Panthers. Thanks to an impressive job by the bullpen and a record-shattering performance by Nathan Brewer, Middle would be able to do exactly that and clinch a Game 1 win by a score of 11-9. In the process, Nathan Brewer was able to break the Conference USA and program record for home runs in a game with 4 total, putting his name among the greats in the history of CUSA baseball. However, with all of that said, sustaining that kind of pace will be nearly impossible for MTSU, so how will the Blue Raiders go about trying to claim victory in today's massive second game of the series? That question will soon have an answer. Let's take a look at last night's stats between Middle Tennessee and FIU on our Blue Raider pregame show. We talked a little bit about this in our postgame show last night, but MTSU had several guys that, despite Nathan Brewer's star-studded performance, had good nights in their own right. Tyler Minnick ended up with 3 hits for MTSU along with 1 run. Owen Nowak had 1 RBI and 1 hit on the night as well. Cooper Clapp went for 1 run. Keep an eye on Lane Akers, 2 hits and 2 runs last night. He's due for a big breakout performance against FIU today. And of course, Nathan Brewer, 4 home runs, the new Conference USA record for home runs in a game. We'll hear a little bit more about what he has to say about today's game later on in the pregame show. Meanwhile, for FIU, they had 2 hits from Mario Trivella, the shortstop. Cooper Rasmussen went for 1 RBI and 2 hits. Andrew Ildefonso had 2 hits and 1 RBI. Aiden Kohal had the best game of any Panther with 3 RBIs and 2 hits on the game, along with a home run shot. Trivella had a home run as well. Both teams used a variety of arms last night. FIU had 5 total pitchers in the game. Meanwhile, Middle Tennessee had a total of 5 pitchers as well, so a lot of bullpen arms used on both sides. We'll see what kind of impact that potentially has on today's game. And taking a look at the pitchers for each side this afternoon, it will be Julian Majinski, who is on the mound for FIU today. And he's a man with a lot of experience for the Panthers this season, a 6'3", 218 righty out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, a transfer from Pensacola State Community College. He has a 6.31 ERA on the year, 51 1/3 innings pitched. This will be his 12th start and 15 appearance total. He has the most innings pitched and most games started on the team with 30 total strikeouts. His season high was 6 2/3 innings pitched against Sam Houston back on March 22nd, with 4 strikeouts against Jacksonville State on April 19th. And meanwhile, for your Blue Raiders, it is the usual Saturday starter, the southpaw Chandler Alderman. 6'5", 230, the junior out of Poplar Grove, Illinois, has been one of the most consistent starters in the conference for the most part. Has been in a little bit of a slump the last couple series, but is looking to pick up the pace today. A 5.36 ERA, a 2-3 record, 50 1/3 innings pitched with 29 strikeouts. His season high is 7 innings pitched with 5 strikeouts against UAB back on March the 7th. We're going to take a brief 2-minute pause. When we come back on our Blue Raider pregame show, we'll hear from Nathan Brewer about his historic performance yesterday and what he thinks MTSU needs to do to claim the series today. And we'll have your Ascend starting lineups. All that and more coming up on the other side of this break from Miami on the Blue Raider pregame show presented by the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's Locker Room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's Locker Room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here on the Blue Raider pregame show, live from sunny Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you this afternoon. Looking forward to game number 2 between FIU and Middle Tennessee in Conference USA baseball action. Let's take a quick look at the Ascend starting lineups. Ascend Federal Credit Union is the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics. Learn more at ascend.org. We will start with the FIU Panthers. The home team will be led off by Samuel Fisher at second base. Mario Trivella is the shortstop once again. Cooper Rasmussen will be at third base, the team leader in total hits. Andrew Ildefonso will be in left field in the cleanup spot. Aiden Cohal, fresh off a home run last night, will be at first base. Hayden Samler takes over as the catcher here this afternoon. We saw him come in as a pinch hitter last night. Hector Candelas is in right field. Kyle Kaler is the designated hitter, and Cole Cleveland will be the center fielder for FIU. Meanwhile, for Middle Tennessee, Owen Nowak, as per usual, is in the leadoff spot in center field. Tyler Minnick is behind the dish as the catcher. Cooper Clapp is the second baseman. Nathan Brewer in the cleanup spot in left field. Lane Akers is the DH. Brett Rogers in right field. Dean O'Neill at first base. Brett Von Dolan at third base. Clay Badalak will be at shortstop. We're going to take one more quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from Nathan Brewer about what MTSU needs to do to claim the series. Back in 2 on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. From the Blue Raider Network and Van Wagner College, it's time for Middle Tennessee State University Baseball. Today's game is brought to you in part by Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and by Middle Tennessee State University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Raider Baseball.
And indeed it is time for the Blue Raiders to take the field at the FIU Baseball Stadium. Dylan Simmons with you on a Saturday afternoon as the Panthers and the Blue Raiders get set to do battle in Game 2 of this critical Conference USA series. Little Elton John going over the loudspeakers, and Saturday is all right for a baseball game. Got to talk with the history-making man, the Conference USA single-game home run king before the game today. I did get to interview him. Don't have those answers recorded due to some technical issues we're having with our interview system right now. So I do want to give the answers that he gave to me for all of you here listening on our broadcast today. So I asked Nathan for our first question. After that history-making performance last night, what was working for you? He said that he just thought he was seeing the ball well and had confidence at the plate overall, and it's hard to argue with that. He said it's still surreal, and it hasn't really sunk in yet to be able to say that I accomplished that record, and it obviously did mean a lot for him to accomplish that for MTSU, a college that he grew up living in the same hometown as. But the third question I had for him was, looking at today's game after the wild game we saw last night, how do you and MTSU quickly shift your attention to trying to take the series today? And he told me it's all about having good ABs, attacking the hitters, and staying disciplined at the plate. And I think that those are some tips that even a professional would have to agree with. And the last question I had was, what do you think could be the key difference in today's matchup? And he stated that he thinks the pitching matchup between Julian Majinski and Chandler Alderman, and whichever starter lasts longer in the game, could be a key point to watch. And I'd have to agree. We saw just how important pitching was yesterday and how MTSU's bullpen was able to outlast FIU's bullpen. Both teams had to go pretty deep into the bullpen throughout the game. We'll see if that becomes a factor today, but certainly the starting pitchers will have a lot that will be on their shoulders as far as getting their teams toward the middle part of the game and keeping the score relatively low. So we'll see which of these dynamic pitchers will be able to answer on the bump for Middle Tennessee and FIU respectively. Taking a quick look at some scores across Conference USA and the Conference USA standings after last night. Jacksonville State remains on top of CUSA at 20-5 overall. Liberty now 18-7. Missouri State at 16-9, tied with Louisiana Tech for the third spot in the conference, along with Dallas Baptist, who is also at 16-9. Pretty decent drop-off from Dallas Baptist to Western Kentucky, who is at 12-13. Kennesaw State at 12-13. And then MTSU falls in behind at 11-14, still in the 8th spot in the conference. Sam Houston right now the cutoff for the Conference USA tournament. They are at 10-15. New Mexico State on the outside looking in at 8-17. FIU at 6-19 after the loss to MTSU last night. And Delaware is at 5-20. Looking at some scores from across the conference in last night's games, we did have a shocking upset over in Jacksonville, Alabama. The Kennesaw State Owls picked up the win by a score of 5-2, so a bit of a shocker there. Kennesaw State able to upend the league-leading Gamecocks. Louisiana Tech took a road win against Liberty in Lynchburg by a score of 9-3. Of course, you listened in to the MTSU FIU game last night with 20 combined runs and an 11-9 victory for the Blue Raiders. Missouri State kept their winning ways going as they beat New Mexico State 14-8 in Springfield, including a dramatic 7th inning that helped lift the Bears above the Aggies. Western Kentucky walked off Dallas Baptist last night in the bottom half of the 9th inning to win 7-4 in that matchup. And Sam Houston put the hammer to Delaware in Huntsville, Texas, with a score of 13-2 in 7 innings. Middle Tennessee is now 24-25 overall on the season, and again 11-14 in conference play after yesterday's victory. Historically against FIU, they are now 29-27 since 2002. 16-12 on the road after last night's win. They are still searching for their first road series win against FIU in the Jerry Myers era, but they have a very significant chance to accomplish that today against the Panthers if they can keep everything in front of them and play the brand of baseball that they've played so well so far here this weekend. Meanwhile, for FIU, if they want to get back into the Conference USA race, they're going to need somewhat of a miracle late in the season. You'd almost have to imagine that they'll have to win the next 2 games in this series today, and they'll also have to take the series against New Mexico State in Las Cruces to at least have an outside shot of putting themselves in the discussion for that CUSA tournament. So a lot to consider from that standpoint as well, as the lineups have been exchanged between coaches, and in about 2 minutes we'll get this thing underway. So we'll take a quick 1-minute timeout. When we come back, it'll be time for Blue Raider Baseball live from Florida International University. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Get this one started from Miami, Florida, where it is a scorching 92 degrees this afternoon. The heat has been a talking point among a lot of people all weekend, both fans here in the audience as well as the players for MTSU, but the heat looked like it didn't bother them too much yesterday going on to beat FIU. However, one difference was that game ended up kind of going into the nighttime period under the cloak of the night sky. This is not going to be a game where MTSU will have that luxury. It is going to be hot and hot all the way through against FIU, and there's a reason that I used hot twice, because it's going to be a warm day, no doubt about it, and we should expect temperatures to stay in the 90s for the majority of this contest. So It'll be interesting to see if that will have an effect on MTSU. But, hey, make no mistake, these players who a lot of them have grown up in the South, they've played in southern humidity before, they know how to handle hot conditions. However, tropical heat, a little bit different. However, right now MTSU not all too concerned about that. All they're concerned with is trying to handle FIU and Julian Majinski, who is on the mound for the Panthers. Talked about him in the pregame show. The senior out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, transferred in from Pensacola State Community College. In 2024 at Pensacola State, he had 14 appearances with 12 games started, an 8-2 record, 70 innings pitched, 58 strikeouts, and a career-high 8 innings pitched with 5 Ks against Tallahassee Community College back on a game on March 27th. He also spent time at Miami-Dade College in 2023, where he started 13 games with 46 2/3 innings pitched, a 3.47 ERA, and a 3-1 record. And Majinski was a South Carolina high school baseball prodigy, number 3 in right-handed pitchers in South Carolina high school baseball during his prep days, and the number 500 player in the nation, according to Perfect Game. And he's also got a great family lineage when it comes to the game of baseball. His brother Carmen, some of you may recognize, played college baseball for the South Carolina Gamecocks and was a first-round pick to the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is still a member of the Pirates roster. So Julian obviously had a great guy to learn from, and he'll hope to use those tools today against Middle Tennessee. But right now, the star of the show is Owen Nowak, who will step to the plate as the leadoff hitter for MTSU and get this party started from Miami, Florida. Nowak looking to pick up where MTSU left off last night in that 11-9 victory. Can the Blue Raiders claim the series, or will FIU even this one up? Here we go from Miami. First pitch by Majinski is in for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. FIU in what I'll call their Miami Vice uniforms today. Kind of has that vibe. MTSU in the classic blue shirts with gray pants. And Majinski, strike 2. Couple of nice pitches back to back. We saw Preston Prince, the starting pitcher for FIU, struggle last night. Only made it through an inning and a third of action before being pulled. That's one thing FIU wants to avoid here. 0-2. Pitch misses high. And the count goes to 1-2 strikes. Middle Tennessee trying to pick up their first CUSA Road Series victory of the season. As Nowak pops this one up, it's going to land somewhere towards the netting and is going to be caught nicely by Caden Samler, the catcher, right underneath the net for out number 1. And he really had to chase that one down because it looked as though it might scrape the wall. It never did, though. And that's going to be out number 1 on Middle Tennessee. So a fortunate break for FIU. Don't see Nowak pop it up like that too often. Tyler Minnick will come to the plate for Middle Tennessee. We said it in the pregame show, but he had a quietly really nice night last night against FIU. Majinski's fastball finds the zone. Count goes to 0-1. Last night, Minnick had 3 hits with 1 run for the Blue Raiders. And he's looking to show out even more here today. The 0-1 placed wide. Count goes to 1-1. MTSU trying to get back in the CUSA tournament after missing it the last couple years, on pace to do so, but they've got to take care of business this afternoon. But I think the general vibe right now is that if MTSU is able to get this series against FIU, their chances of making the CUSA tournament are very much high, I would guess. Count at 2-1. Majinski, strike 2. Julian Majinski doing a really nice job so far against Nowak and Minnick. Very consistent in the speed and velocity on some of these pitches. Here's the 2-2, and a chopper to the left side picked up by Rasmussen, who throws on to first, and that will be out number 2 on a 5-3. Good work by Rasmussen, the third baseman. Made some nice plays yesterday for FIU defensively, and that will send on Cooper Clapp. As the MTSU Baseball SID calls him, Supa Koopa comes to the plate. Cooper Clapp looking to get the first hit of the game for MTSU. Entered the weekend with a .315 average, 25 RBIs, and 35 total runs. starting his 49th game of the season today. MTSU playing their 50th game of the season this afternoon. So one of my friends had his phone go off in the middle of our broadcast, and he's going to go get that addressed. That pitch will be in for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Surrounded by some MTSU fans this afternoon, and it's nice to have some company. We're having a good old time up here. And here's a high fly ball deep to right field and out of here. Super Koopa. Cooper Clapp puts the Blue Raiders on the board. Now that is how you start a game on a Saturday afternoon. Cooper Clapp with a solo home run shot. That was a no-doubter over the right field wall. One of the biggest home run shots we've seen all season. Home runs, definitely no stranger to the man coming up next to the plate, Nathan Brewer. Had 4 of them yesterday to set a new Conference USA single-game record. He's looking for his 5th home run of the weekend right here. And if he gets another one, you might as well just make him king of the world. As that goes for a strike, count at 0-1 now. Well, what a swing by Cooper Clapp. Again, another lefty in the lineup for MTSU. Mentioned it yesterday. There are 5 total in the lineup for the Blue Raiders. Here's a high drive to right field. It'll stay in the yard and be caught by Hector Candelas for out number 3. Look for a second like Brewer may get that 5th home run. But regardless, Cooper Clapp with a solo home run shot over the right field wall. Blue Raiders on top 1-0 after the top of the first. Back in 1 minute for the FIU Bats and Chandler Alderman here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
After one frame of baseball, Middle Tennessee on top 1-0 over the FIU Panthers thanks to a solo home run shot from Cooper Clapp. Dylan Simmons on the call with you. And while we've got a moment, we want to congratulate all of our MTSU graduates back in Murfreesboro. Some graduates on this baseball team as well, as a matter of fact. And there are graduation ceremonies taking place, commencement in Murphy Center today, a couple of ceremonies as a matter of fact, and got some friends graduating, so just want to shout out all of them, including MTSU Baseball Sports Information Director Willie Failer getting his graduation plaque today, so congrats to Willie and all of those who are graduating for MTSU. Chandler Alderman on the bump for Middle Tennessee, the junior out of Poplar Grove, Illinois, played his prep baseball at North Boone High School. Mentioned him in the pregame show, an all-freshman team member in 2024. Burst onto the scene for MTSU, had a fantastic season last year, and is no stranger to dominating opposing competition. He has had some struggles against Sam Houston and Western Kentucky the last couple weeks, but Chandler Alderman still has one of the most lethal left-handed arms in all of Conference USA, and the southpaw will look to do some significant damage on this FIU lineup here this afternoon. Sammy Fisher will come to the plate for the Panthers. Last night for FIU, Sammy Fisher, along with the rest of the team, had a lot of success offensively, just couldn't capitalize enough on it. He had 1 hit and 1 RBI against the Blue Raiders. Lefty batter versus lefty pitcher right here. And Alderman's fastball is in for a strike. Count at 0-1. It will be Fisher, Mario Trivella, and Cooper Rasmussen, who will lead off for FIU here in the bottom half of the first. Alderman's 0-1, just inside. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. North Boone High School, Alderman had a 2.69 ERA, 96 strikeouts as a junior, a school record. And here's a drive into right field that's going to get down into the right field corner. Sammy Fisher rounding first. He will make it to second standing up, and the Panthers have a leadoff double. So just like that, Sammy Fisher able to get his second hit of the weekend on a brilliant drive into right field. And as I mentioned, it landed right in that right field corner to set up Fisher and FIU. Mario Trivella will come to the plate, the shortstop for FIU, out of Caracas, Venezuela. Played at Sarasota High School and the State College of Florida before coming to FIU. Entered the weekend with a 271 average and 39 RBIs. Fisher is at second. Alderman's pitch, fastball for a strike. Count now at 0-1. The big thing that Alderman will have to keep in mind is just to make sure that you shake off that first hit you give up. Of course, Chandler very resilient, knows how to put situations like that behind him. And a swing and a miss, foul tip, count goes to 0-2. Chance for Alderman to get a strikeout on Trivella. Trivella entered the weekend tied for the team lead in home runs. He has since broken that with his home run last night. Tied with Nathan Brewer in the top 10 of home runs in the conference. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. That's more like it for Chandler Alderman. A strikeout swinging on Trivella, and that's big against maybe the most dangerous hitter in this FIU lineup. A man who may have something to say about that, though, is Cooper Rasmussen, lefty batter for the Panthers, who's got 11 home runs in his own right this season. 47 hits entering the weekend. Number 2 on the team in total hits. Fisher still standing by at second. Alderman's pitch finds the zone for a strike. Another great fastball from Chandler. Count now at 0-1. Alderman has given up 30 earned runs on the season, just 19 walks. Very consistent on the mound when he's in the proverbial zone. 0-1 pitch, just a little bit low and inside. Count moves to 1-1. And of course, Alderman, as well as the rest of the team, they met FIU last year in Murfreesboro. Fell in that series 2-1. And you got to think that being in the back of some of these players' minds has added some extra motivation for this weekend. So this pitch misses just a bit outside. But as I said yesterday, this FIU roster is almost unrecognizable from a year ago. 29 new players, 14 returners. So it's almost an entirely new roster from that standpoint. Realities of the transfer portal and NIL. And that is a hit-by pitch on a breaking ball from Alderman. So Cooper Rasmussen will make his way over to first base. 2 runners aboard from the FIU Panthers. And Alderman just kind of had that one sail on him a little bit, as Andrew Ildefonso will come to the plate. Local man out of Miami, redshirt sophomore, played at Archbishop McCarthy High School. Team leader in hits and at-bats on the team entering the weekend, and a CUSA preseason all-conference team member. Pitch from Alderman is low and outside, count at 1-0. It's all about trying to establish consistency as a pitcher early on in these games, which is what Alderman is looking to do. Not always easy when you're in hot conditions and trying to just get into that flow early on. The 1-0 is grounded right to third, and Von Dolan will touch the bag, throw to first, and get a double play for MTSU to end the inning. A nice 5-3 double play for the Blue Raiders. That worked out about as well as it could have for Von Dolan, Dean O'Neill, and Chandler Alderman. That'll do it for the bottom half of the first inning. MTSU maintains the 1-0 lead. We'll see if the Blue Raiders can add on to it in the top of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to the FIU Baseball Stadium. Hey, what's better than some Saturday afternoon baseball in Miami? Can't think of much. Dylan Simmons on the call. Blue Raiders on top 1-0 over the FIU Panthers, trying to claim the series against FIU this afternoon. They've already seen a solo home run shot from Cooper Clapp that gave MTSU their initial lead. And the Blue Raiders will be looking for more here this afternoon to try to claim this series against FIU. Leading off in this frame for the Blue Raiders will be Lane Akers, designated hitter for MTSU, who's had a fantastic season to say the least, especially in the middle part of the year, has picked up the pace tremendously for MTSU. And it's amazing to think he wasn't fully slotted in as the DH early on in the season, as that goes in for a strike from Majinski, but earned his spot and has been raking ever since. Counted 0-1. Majinski fastball. Oh, goodness. That really contacted Lane Akers. Looked like around the left shoulder, and that's going to be a pretty obvious hit by pitch. So Akers will make his way over to first base. Not exactly how you draw it up, but MTSU will take the base runner regardless. And Lane's a tough guy, not looking any worse for wear. Brett Rogers will come to the plate for MTSU. The right fielder with a .305 average on the season, 54 hits, along with 21 RBIs, 8 doubles, 1 triple, and 2 homers. Pitch by Majinski finds the zone for a strike. Went back to the breaking ball there. Pretty effective. Count goes to 0-1. Lane Akers has stolen 4 bases on the season, by the way. We'll see if he wants to attempt taking off at any point soon. This pitch low and well inside for Majinski. Count goes to 2-0. Brett Rogers yesterday for MTSU. Part of that great offensive effort that the Blue Raiders had. Ended up with 1 run. Didn't have any hits. Looking to change that now. And Brett's a guy that can absolutely have explosive games. When he's feeling it in a big way. Count at 1-1 here after Majinski attempted to pick off at first. Unsuccessful on Akers. 1 ball, 1 strike. And well to the inside. Count goes to 2-1. Majinski seems to have a tendency against these lefty batters to throw it towards the inside part of the plate, and it's been somewhat ineffective so far. 2-1 pitch is going to be grounded to short, picked up by Travella. Off balance, throws to second for 1 out. The throw to first will not be in time, so Brett Rogers will advance to first on a fielder's choice. Akers is out at second. That was a really nice out, though, for Mario Travella to, off his knee, throw it to second base and get the out. Not easy to do. 1 away here in the top half of the second inning.
Number 12, Dean O'Neill.
Dean O'Neill will come to the plate for MTSU. First baseman for the Blue Raiders. Last night was able to reach base a couple times. In total, O'Neill forced 1 walk for the Blue Raiders. Didn't have any hits in yesterday's game in 4 at-bats. Struck out twice. Pretty aggressive at the plate. We'll see if that aggressiveness comes back into play and maybe pays off here today. Majinski stands in and throws back to first. Trying another pickoff on Brett Rogers. Now Rogers, maybe the best base stealer on the team, has stolen 12 bags this season, but has been caught stealing 5 times, including last night. This pitch to O'Neill, breaking ball that misses. Count goes to 1-0. Panthers are 15-34 on the season, looking for their 16th win overall on the year. Just one road win for the Panthers all season long. 14 home wins. And here's a ground ball by O'Neill that gets past the second baseman, Fisher, and went right through his glove. That will advance Rogers on to third, and O'Neill will stop at first. And I'd assume that'll be an E4. We'll check the official scoring in just a moment, but either way, MTSU with runners at the corners with one out. That looked like a pretty routine ground ball to Fisher, albeit it was coming at him pretty quickly, and it just went right between his legs, it looked like. So that'll send Brett Von Dolen to the plate for MTSU, as the Blue Raiders have two runners aboard with the one out. That could have potentially been a double play as well if Fisher could have grabbed it, but unable to. Here's a fly ball into left field by Brett Von Dolen. Chasing after it and missing the catch is Ildefonso. That will bring in Brett Rogers and advance O'Neill to second. Brett Von Dolen is going to get an RBI off of that. Ildefonso looked like he just misplayed that ball in the middle portion of left field. I'm not sure if he lost it in the sun or what exactly happened, but MTSU will get a run,
number 11,
and that'll make it 2-0.
Badalak.
Clay Badalak will come to the plate for MTSU, the number 9 hole hitter. All kinds of chaos happening here in this first inning, or second inning, I should say. Badalak, a lefty batter for MTSU. This pitch comes in for a ball. Count goes to 1-0. O'Neill out at second, by the way, on that throw to second base. Want to clarify that. Rogers scores on an unearned run. Didn't see that throw late. So that's fouled off by Badalak. Count goes to 1-1. But Ildefonso missed the catch, but still got the ball off to second in time. That's pretty impressive considering he was on the ground, and I'm not sure if O'Neill was just unaware or what happened, but that looked like it was pretty well set. Either way, Badalak at the plate with just one runner aboard in Brett Von Dolen. Here's a fly ball out to left that's going to be fouled, and the count will be at 1-2. Badalak yesterday for MTSU had one hit, one run with one RBI for the Blue Raiders. Von Dolen standing in at first after his RBI single. Count at 1-2. Badalak fouls this one into the net once again. And you got to appreciate the ability from Badalak to just stand in and force foul balls. If nothing else, wear out the pitcher a little bit. Give an uptick on that pitch count. 1-2 coming up. Majinski places this one wide. Count will even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Majinski taking his time here. 2-2 by Badalak, fouled off once again. There is a pretty significant breeze at times here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. Not a swirling wind, but every now and then there are some gusts that could certainly affect the distance that some of these hits travel for both sides. We'll see if that continues to have an impact. 2-2 coming up. This pitch is upstairs for ball 3. A little bit to the outside for Majinski as well. Payoff pitch coming up with 2 outs on Badalak as the Panthers try to put an end to this top half of the second inning. Three-two on the way, and here's a drive deep into left center field towards the gap that will be caught on the run by Andrew Ildefonso. He doesn't misplay it this time, and that will end the top half of the second inning. But MTSU puts a run on the scoreboard. Brett Von Dolen with an RBI single. Blue Raiders on top 2-0 over the FIU Panthers. Back for the bottom of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to the campus of Florida International University. Dylan Simmons on the call as we approach the bottom half of the second inning. Your Blue Raiders on top 2-0 over FIU. The offense has been humming so far. An RBI single for Brett Rogers and a solo home run shot for Cooper Clapp has put MTSU in the position that they're in right now. RBI single from Brett Von Dolan. Want to clarify that. Got my Bretts mixed up there, but right now MTSU on top of the FIU Panthers and trying to keep it that way with Chandler Alderman on the bump. Aiden Cohall will come to the plate for FIU as it'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Panthers in the bottom of the second. Cohall, Samler, and Hector Candelas. Chandler Alderman had a pretty solid first inning, did put a couple runners on base with a hit by pitch as well as a single, or a double I should say, over to the right field corner, but still was able to get out of it with no runs given up. We'll see if there's more effectiveness to come in this inning as this pitch placed a little bit low. Count goes to 1-0. Aiden Cohall had a home run last night against MTSU, as well as another RBI swing, and speaking of swings, swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1. Aiden Cohall's official stat line for last night's game was 2 hits with 3 RBIs and 1 run. Count at 1-1. Pitch by Alderman is driven deep to left center field, back towards the scoreboard, and Cohall has done it again. A solo home run for Aiden Cohall to lead off the bottom half of the second inning. His second home run of the weekend. And in those stylish Miami Vice uniforms, Aiden Cohall is styling out against the Blue Raiders. 2-1 here in Miami. Caden Samler will come to the plate for the Panthers, but all of a sudden this game has changed dramatically. After that home run shot from Aiden Cohall, Samler, the catcher, with a .293 average on the season, .475 on base percentage, .923 OPS, getting his first chance as the catcher this weekend. Strike delivered by Alderman. Count goes to 0-1. And really the difference in yesterday's game was the home run output that MTSU had. It's one thing FIU didn't quite match, even with a couple of homers from Travella and Aiden Cohall. But already a home run here to match Cooper Clapp's solo shot. Count at 1-1 for Caden Samler out of Waukee, Iowa. Played high school ball at Waukee Northwest High School. Delivers a chopper on the right side. It is Clapp who picks it up late, and he overthrows Dean O'Neill on an underhand toss. Here running to second now, and missing on the tag was Cooper Clapp, or excuse me, Clay Badalak. Safe at second base is Caden Samler. All kinds of chaos on that play as Clapp overthrew on an underhand toss Dean O'Neill. The ball was picked up at an odd location, and the little roller was put in a spot where it could have been Alderman or Clapp who picked it up. Both kind of were waiting to see if the other guy would get it first. Neither did, and eventually that allowed for Caden Samler to keep trucking on past first after the missed throw, and then the throw from Dean O'Neill, basically from the MTSU dugout, missed Cooper Clapp, or excuse me, Clay Badalak at short, and so runner aboard at second after that odd play for FIU. Hector Candelas now at the plate trying to lay down a bunt and fouls this one off. Count moves to 0-1. Very bizarre sequence there for MTSU. But it's those kinds of infield plays that not only do you hate to give those up, but they can also have a major impact on the game. Samler will be awarded with a single off that play and then advancing to second on the error. Clapp will be officially awarded with the error as an E4. Counted 0-1. And a pitch upstairs from Alderman on Hector Candelas. As a team, FIU hitting 3 for 5 now with a 600 average. Of course, it is early, but that's a pretty solid rate, I would say, so far. Count at 1-1. Tying run at second base for FIU. O'Neal coming up on this play. Oh, my goodness. Couldn't tell if that was a hit by pitch or just an awkward bounce off the bat of Candelas, but it's a foul ball, it looks like. And he's shaken up after the play. The pitch was high from Alderman, and it appeared, made impact with the face of Candelas. But I think as he was trying to lay down the bunt, he may have rattled one of his hands. Looks like his left hand, perhaps. And sometimes on a bunt, you run into that sort of situation. It doesn't necessarily have to directly hit your hand. It can just be the rattle of the bat sometimes that causes that. But wouldn't be shocked if it was a situation where his hand took some sort of force. Umpires are also taking a look at Hector Candelas here. Make sure he's okay. Looks like he's all right. That's good to see after that awkward bounce. Always want to see the players able to continue on after tough situations such as those. So he'll take some time to get readjusted, but he will keep this at-bat going. It's officially a foul ball, so the count will be at 1-2 here. But an opportunity still very much in the hands of Hector Candelas to bring in the man at second base, Caden Samler, and tie this game up. Chandler Alderman and MTSU still looking for their first out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Alderman's pitch is low on the fastball. Count evens at 2-2. Tried to go toward the inside corner of the plate on Candelas, and he couldn't quite fit it in there. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Alderman, fastball, fouled directly off the backstop. It pops right up into the air and lands in the stands. That's one of the few ways that you'll get a foul ball into the stands here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. And the count will be 2-2. Kyle Kaler is on deck for the Panthers. Came in as a pinch hitter yesterday. He'll be up to bat momentarily. But right now it's all about Candelas, the right fielder. 2-2 again. And here's a fly ball deep to right field. Rogers ranging over into foul ground. Won't be able to make a play on it. It lands in the MTSU bullpen. And the count will once again be 2-2 for Candelas. Very similar to Badalak. Just standing in there and being able to extend his at-bat. It's an underrated skill, but it can certainly help in situations like this. Hector Candelas trying to make the most of this opportunity. Tie this game up for his Panthers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still no outs. And here's a fly ball rocketed to left field. Brewer is back at the warning track, and he will make the catch for the first out. Nice job by Nathan Brewer to locate that baseball. We saw Andrew Ildefonso struggle to bring one in from a pretty close area to where Brewer was earlier in the game. Allowed for Brett Von Dolen to get an RBI single, but this time Brewer brings it in at the track. 1 away here in the bottom half of the second inning. Staying at second base is Samler, and that will send on Kyle Kaler, the DH in this game for FIU. Kaler with 16 at-bats on the season. Does not have a hit yet to his total as that pitch comes in high. Yesterday against MTSU, Kaler came in as a pinch hitter against the Blue Raiders and was unable to get on base for the Panthers. 1-0 pitch from Alderman is placed too far to the outside. Count goes to 2-0. cat and mouse game right now between Alderman and the members of this FIU batting order as they try to get Alderman to blink. Gave up a home run to Aiden Cohal, allowed a odd single with Caden Samler a few moments ago, trying to get some redemption here. And here's a fly ball deep to center field. It'll stay in the yard. Camping underneath it is Nowak. He will make the catch, and that will keep Samler at second base and, most importantly, get out number 2 here in the bottom half of the second inning. Cole Cleveland will come to the plate for FIU. Sophomore out of Delray Beach, Florida, and Calvary Christian Academy. Entered the weekend with a .231 average, 16 RBIs, and 20 runs. And as you hear on the song, people here in Miami, they think that Cleveland rocks, and he's going to try to show that here at the plate. Never personally been to Cleveland, so I can't say one way or another. That's not going to rock. It's a hit by pitch that caught Cleveland in the helmet, it looks like. And that will be runners at first and second for FIU. So not ideal for Chandler Alderman. That is the second hit by pitch that he's delivered in this game. He also put Cooper Rasmussen at the plate, or at first base, I should say, with a hit by pitch. And that will send on Sammy Fisher, who had a leadoff double back in the bottom half of the first inning. Now 2 aboard for FIU, but remember, MTSU already has forced 2 outs, so you just need 1 out here to end this inning. Alderman, fastball for a strike. That was a really nice fastball towards the middle part of the plate that time. Alderman overall has struggled a bit more against lefty batters historically than right-handed batters, and it makes sense with him being a southpaw in his own right. 0-1 pitch, popped up on the left side into foul ground. Von Dolan chasing after it, and it will be just out of his reach as it lands in the FIU bullpen for an 0-2 count. Sammy Fisher, still one of the most respected batters on this FIU squad. Didn't get a hit yesterday, already a double today. Junior out of Cali, Colombia. He would want Ryan Gosling to play him in a potential biopic. And yes, that is a true statement. Look up the FIU baseball website, folks. It's interesting. A lot of fun facts on there. So that pitch comes in a little bit to the outside. Count goes to 1-2. Fisher came into the weekend tied for second in walks forced in Conference USA. That's one of his best skills at his disposal. Very consistent and disciplined at the plate. 1-2 pitch, and a ground ball fouled toward the left field line. Count stays at 1-2. As Sammy Fisher tries to get on base and tries to, most importantly, even up this game for FIU here on this Saturday afternoon. But right now, Alderman and MTSU trying not to budge. Another 1-2 coming up in the hot Miami sun. Will Alderman try that fastball again? It's been working for him as of late in this bottom of the second. 1-2 pitch. Here's a loop shot down the left field line that will be fouled right into the left field corner. So the count will stay at 1-2. Sammy Fisher, though, making pretty significant contact with the ball these last couple of attempted hits. Just trying to get it into the field of play, but away from the reach of these outfielders. Samler at second with Cleveland at first for FIU. 1-2 with 2 away. Pitch from Alderman. Driven high and deep into left center field, and this one is out of here. A 3-run home run from Sammy Fisher, who catches a big one here in Miami on this Saturday afternoon to give the Panthers a 4-2 lead. His 6th homer of the season. What a start for Sammy Fisher here in Game 2 of this series. And all of a sudden, this game has completely changed in the bottom half of the second inning. Ball went all the way to the netting that protects the FIU soccer stadium nearby the baseball stadium here. And all of a sudden, the Panthers have put up a 4-run bottom of the second, including 3 of those runs from Sammy Fisher's homer a moment ago. Mario Trivella will come to the plate, but all of a sudden FIU in a position that They haven't been in all weekend. They have the lead against Middle Tennessee. Trailed all the way through yesterday's game. A lot of that thanks to the 8-run top of the second MTSU had. But a different story so far today. Count at 1-1. 4 for 8 as a team so far is FIU. Pitch by Alderman, delivered to the outside. Count now at 2-1. The one thing that gives you comfort here for MTSU is the bats have been so productive this weekend that giving up a home run isn't the end of the world, it feels like, as this is going to be fouled toward the FIU bullpen. However, it's certainly not a position that you want to be in. And you can't linger on that home run for too long either if you're Chandler Alderman. Fisher's been pretty much the lone guy that's had his number so far, outside of Aiden Cohall. Count at 2-2. Check swing. And that will be called for ball 3. First base umpire officially ruling that. Umpiring crew today, Christopher Tipton is the first base umpire, Joel Parrish at home plate. Lee Canizero is the third base umpire. Payoff pitch, and that is wide of Tyler Minnick's glove for ball 4. So Trivella moves on to first with a base on balls, and Jerry Myers is on his way to the bump for the first time this afternoon. We'll see what he wants to do with Chandler Alderman, but obviously not the start that he was looking for here this afternoon. We saw both starting pitchers have their struggles yesterday, although David Horn Jr. still managed to go for nearly 5 innings. However, Preston Prince had similar struggles against MTSU and ended up getting pulled after less than 2 innings of action. Alderman will stay out there, but obviously this is a situation that Jerry Myers will need to have his full attention on. Of course, Myers, a former pitching coach in his own right at South Carolina, so he knows all too well about situations like these and how to handle it. So the next man to the plate is Cooper Rasmussen for FIU, with Mario Trivella at first base for the Panthers. Pretty speedy guy on the base paths. He won't mind trying to steal if the situation arises. Here's a breaking ball, swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-1. Rasmussen reached on a hit by pitch back in the first inning. 49 total hits on the season with 36 runs for the Panthers. And that is going to be a balk on Chandler Alderman as he just barely stepped off the rubber, and unfortunately, rules are rules. That'll send Trivella on to second. So the count at 0-1 with 2 outs, but now a runner in scoring position for FIU. That may be no small thing here. Oh-1, and that pitch is low by Alderman. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Chandler Alderman just trying to escape out of this bottom half of the second against the Panthers and minimize the continual damage that they could do here. 1 ball, 1 strike coming up for the southpaw. And here's a fly ball towards left that's going to drift into foul ground. Von Dolan trying to make a play on it, but won't be able to. Bounces into the FIU bullpen. Count at 1-2 coming up. Alderman so far in this game has 1 total strikeout, which he got on Mario Trivella back in the first inning, but hasn't managed one since. He'd love to get one here on Rasmussen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that pitch is low again for ball number 2. Count evens at 2-2 for Cooper Rasmussen. FIU looking pretty sporty so far, trying to get their revenge for yesterday's loss and putting themselves in position to do so thus far in the bottom of the second. But a swing and a miss here from Cooper Rasmussen. That will be the second strikeout of the game for Chandler Alderman, and that will do it for the bottom half of the second. But still a highlight inning for the FIU Panthers as Aiden Cohall and Sammy Fisher both with home run shots. Fisher's a 3-run homer to put FIU on top 4-2 over MTSU. Back for the top half of the third to see if MTSU's bats can respond in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Back here at the FIU Baseball Stadium, Blue Raiders trailing FIU for the first time in this series by a score of 4-2. Hey, while we've got a moment, we want to thank our friends at Atmos Energy. Atmos Energy is delighted to sponsor the Blue Raiders and fuel homes and businesses in Middle Tennessee with affordable, efficient, and reliable natural gas. For today and generations to come, natural gas, the smart choice for fueling our energy future. Owen Nowak comes to the plate for MTSU in this top half of the third inning. 0 for 1 so far today as he popped a ball up to the catcher his last time up. Ground ball to second here that gets past Sammy Fisher again. That is the second time that's happened today. It rolls all the way into the middle portion of right field, and Owen Nowak is aboard at second base. So I'd imagine that's going to be an E4 on Fisher. We'll see what they officially rule it as here. And it is going to be ruled as an error on Fisher here, so Owen Nowak aboard on an E4. And that's, unfortunately for Sammy Fisher, become a recurring trend today. With the bat, he's been incredible, but with the glove, he's had his struggles. Tyler Minnick to the plate for MTSU with a runner aboard at second, and here's a fly ball deep to left center field that's going to stay in the yard, caught at the track by Cole Cleveland, running on to third, and getting there in time is Owen Nowak. So MTSU with a runner in the hot corner. That'll send on Cooper Clapp after the flyout by Tyler Minnick.
Number 4, Cooper Clapp.
Cooper Clapp already with a solo home run shot in this game. And now trying to add a second homer right here. We saw Nathan Brewer get off to a 2-for-2 start on home runs earlier this weekend, and maybe Cooper Clapp has something similar right here. But there's a strike for Julian Majinski as the count goes to 0-1. Majinski, outside of the home run shot and the odd RBI single for Brett Von Dolen, has been fairly solid so far. Infield playing up on this at-bat for Cooper Clapp as that's fouled toward the left side, count at 0-2. Owen Nowak has stolen 8 bases this season, but with him being already at third, it would be wishful thinking, I would say, to try to steal home. Swing and a miss on a fastball here on Clapp, and that'll be a strikeout for Majinski. So Cooper Clapp, after the great start in this game, not going to be as fruitful on this at-bat. 2 away in the top half of the third inning. Man of the hour, Nathan Brewer, is at the plate. Flew a ball out to right field his first time up today. Needed just a bit more to have it exit the ballpark. Searching for that 5th home run of the weekend after last night's record-setting effort against FIU. Home run here would tie the contest. High breaking ball for a strike from Julian Majinski. Count goes to 0-1. Majinski, Pensacola State Community College transfer. One of the new players that FIU's added that's been a great addition to the team. Coach Rich Witten brought him in over the offseason. And I'm sure that he's been pretty satisfied with his decision to do that, what Majinski's done this year. Count at 1-1, and a swing and a miss for Brewer. Count goes to 1-2. Majinski starting to heat up with that nice fastball. By the way, already 3 errors in this game, 2 for FIU, both on Fisher, and 1 by MTSU. 1-2 pitch. A little bit low. Good job by Brewer to recognize that at the plate. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Owen Nowak at third, eager to try to become the 3rd run scored by MTSU here this afternoon. 2-2 by Majinski. A fly ball deep into left field. Chasing after it and making the catch right before the warning track is Andrew Ildefonso, and that will do it for the top half of the 3rd inning. So MTSU comes up empty despite getting Owen Nowak all the way to 3rd base. The score remains FIU 4, Middle Tennessee 2. Back for the bottom of the 3rd in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping.
After this break, can we do a legal ID?
We believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Back here on the campus of Florida International University, Dylan Simmons on the call. 4-2 to your score. FIU on top of MTSU as we approach the bottom half of the 3rd. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
The flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports. WGNS. Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here.
Ildefonso will come to the plate for FIU here in this bottom half of the 3rd inning. Panthers nursing a 2-run lead over the Blue Raiders thanks to a couple of home runs from Aiden Kohal and Sammy Fisher in the bottom half of the 2nd. Alderman still on the bump, trying to make sure that we don't see a repeat of that here. Fires a fastball to the outside. Count goes to 1-0. Blue Raiders hitting 2 for 12 as a team so far. FIU 4 for 9, so the hitting has been very consistent for the Panthers. As this is going to be a drive towards left that's going to be fouled all the way towards the parking lot, and hopefully that didn't hit any of the cars out there. Count will be at 1-1. But it feels as though there's been a more consistent start from FIU in this game. However, they have been known to surrender leads late in contest. Gave up a 5-run advantage to Dallas Baptist in the final game of that series a couple weeks ago. So MTSU has to keep their heads high no matter what and realize that you got a chance. Low pitch from Alderman that's in the dirt. Count goes to 2-1. Could not quite elevate that one high enough on Ildefonso. Aiden Kohal's on deck, followed by Caden Samler, 4-5-6. And here's a high drive deep to left field towards the corner, and this ball is gone. Andrew Ildefonso keeps it inside the left field foul pole and puts the Panthers on top 5-2 with the 3rd home run of the day for Florida International. What a start for the Panthers here in this bottom half of the 3rd inning, and Chandler Alderman having a rough time with these FIU bats so far. And Ildefonso was just barely able to keep that one inside the left field foul pole. It's 325 feet to that left field corner. Same goes for right field, 400 to dead center. But again, as I said yesterday, you can exploit those corners if you can hit to them. And that's exactly what Ildefonso just did for the homer. Kohal delivers a ground ball to 3rd, picked up by Von Dolan, throws on to 1st for a quick 5-3 and out number 1. So there will be no repeat of the home run magic for Aiden Kohal. But the narrative has almost been flipped from today's game compared to where it was yesterday. FIU was pretty much neck and neck with MTSU for a majority of yesterday's contest, but lost largely due to the home runs that MTSU was able to garner. A lot of those from Nathan Brewer. In the game today, FIU and MTSU have been fairly neck and neck, but the home runs have been the only run generator for the Panthers so far. In fact, there's only been one run scored by either team that was the result of anything other than a home run. Count at 0-1. Pitch to the outside here. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. As Caden Samler at the plate. Right now, Chandler Alderman trying to find some sort of answer to slow down FIU. Pitch here is a little high. Count goes to 2-1. But the Panthers are obviously a team on a mission right now, trying to force a rubber match tomorrow against MTSU to make that for the series. 2-1 pitch, and a swing and a miss. Count evens at 2-2. Nice fastball from Alderman. Does have 2 strikeouts. Those 2 against Mario Trivella and Cooper Rasmussen, respectively. 2-2 with 1 away, and he'll get his third. Swing and a miss for Caden Samler, and that is 2 down here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Hector Candelas will come to the plate for FIU. Candelas, one of the veteran players on this FIU roster out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Played at Kansas City, Kansas Community College before coming to FIU. Former member of the CUSA All-Academic team, got a double against MTSU with 2 hits last year in the March 28th edition of the contest in Murfreesboro. And now trying to get a hit in game number 2 on this Saturday afternoon. 0-1 pitch. Oh boy, almost a hit by pitch. A little high on this one from Chandler Alderman. Count evens at 1-1. And that breeze we've talked about so much starting to pick up a little bit more, and it's kind of focusing in on that left field area. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2, and you do wonder if that maybe helped Andrew Ildefonso's home run a moment ago. That wind carrying the way it is certainly couldn't have hurt it. And that is going to be a hit by pitch for Alderman. Or is it? Nope, that's going to be called for a strikeout, it looks like. So Hector Candelas will be down on strikes in a very bizarre ending to this bottom half of the 3rd inning. I don't know if anyone knows exactly what's going on, but either way, that'll do it. Rich Witten looking for an explanation. We'll find out more of one when we come back. MTSU down 5-2 after a solo home run shot from Andrew Ildefonso. Back for the top of the 4th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Back here in Miami, Florida, Dylan Simmons on the call, and we've reached the top half of the 4th inning between your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the FIU Panthers. Through 3 innings, Blue Raiders down 5-2 to FIU off of 3 home runs scored by the Panthers so far. Sammy Fisher, Andrew Ildefonso, and Aiden Cohal have all contributed to the cause for FIU. Middle Tennessee has scored 2 runs, one off a solo home run from Cooper Clapp, and another off an RBI single from Brett Von Dolan. Julian Majinski is still on the mound for FIU, and just a few moments ago, we saw a very bizarre ending to the bottom half of the fourth inning as Chandler Alderman was able to get a strikeout, his fourth of the game, but did so in very unorthodox fashion. And we don't have a replay of this play, but it looked like Hector Candelas thought it was going to be ruled as a hit by pitch. It was not, and that officially ended the inning. So that's what's brought us to now. Lane Akers is at the plate. Count is at 1-0 for him as this pitch from Majinski comes in low. Count now at 2-0 against the Blue Raiders. Majinski has one strikeout so far, but his defense has played pretty effectively outside of a couple of errors. 2-0 pitch to Akers, ground ball to short. Bobbled by Travella, throws on to first in a hurry, and the throw took the first baseman, Aiden Cohall, off the bag. So that will put Lane Akers at first base on what's going to be ruled, I would guess, as an E6. So a runner aboard for MTSU. And again, this infield for FIU, they've had good moments, but they've also had moments where they've struggled and made mistakes on what looked to be pretty rudimentary ground ball plays. And it allows MTSU to get runners aboard. So an E6 here for the Blue Raiders. And now Brett Rogers will come to the plate for MTSU. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up and fouls this one to the top of the net here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. Count at 0-1 with Akers over at first. They are actually going to call that as a single, so my mistake. They're going to give Akers the hit on that. So I'm sure he's not going to complain about it. 0-1. Here's a drive into right field, back towards the wall, and it gets down for a base hit. Akers rounding second. He wants third. He's got a chance to come all the way home as the ball's mishandled at the warning track. Akers scores, and MTSU has made it a two-run game. Brett Rogers with a magnificent RBI swing into deep right center field. That is how you turn the game on its head, and Brett Rogers, he's been a man who's done that plenty of times this season. He answers the call here, and the Blue Raiders get their first run since the top half of the second inning on FIU. That'll send Dean O'Neill to the plate, and it's an RBI double for Brett Rogers. O'Neill, his last time up, reached on an E4 for MTSU. And we're going to see a meeting on the mound here for FIU as Rich Witten wants to have a conversation with Julian Majinski. Plenty of action right now in the FIU bullpen. Another crazy game here on this Saturday afternoon. From a pure entertainment value, this has been a very fun series between these two teams. All sorts of dynamic plays, wild turns of events, and everything else you could imagine. Baseball drama at its finest has been MTSU versus FIU in this second weekend of May. O'Neill to the plate, Rogers at second. Dean O'Neill represents the tying run against Julian Majinski and FIU here. O'Neill, 60 hits, 48 RBIs, but still looking for that first clean hit of the weekend. If you can get one here, it could be a game changer. Pops it up on the right side. Cohall wants it in foul ground and gets it for out number one. So that will retire Dean O'Neill and send on Brett Von Dolan, who got an awkward RBI single earlier after Andrew Ildefonso misplayed a fly ball in left field, allowed for MTSU to bring in a run scored, and now the Blue Raiders hoping to have a similar result for Vondo here. One out, ground ball to short. Travella misplays it again. It bounced right off of him, and MTSU will have another runner aboard. My goodness, this Panther infield just having all kinds of problems picking up these ground balls, and that almost certainly is going to have to be an E6 shortstop on Travella. 11, I know we had the disputed one earlier on Lane Akers, and that will be officially an E6. So the third error by FIU officially in this game. I think it could be 4, but either way, 2 runners aboard for MTSU. The tying run is at first base for the Blue Raiders. Clay Badalak to the plate. Here's a high drive deep to left field. It stays in the yard, caught by Andrew Ildefonso for out number 2, and the runners stay at first and second base. And the wind was doing everything that it could to carry that ball out of the yard. However, it just wasn't strong enough of a swing by Badalak. Owen Nowak comes to the plate for the Blue Raiders. And perhaps he will be the one that is able to tie this game for MTSU. Reached on a knee for his last time. Popped it up to the catcher in his first at-bat. 2 away, and this pitch by Majinski finds the zone for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Owen Nowak, we talked with him before yesterday's game. Gave a really nice interview about his and the team's attitude coming into the weekend. Delivers a ground ball here fouled to the left of the third base bag. Count at 0-2. And his determination and the team's will to win has really shown through so far this weekend. But down 2 runs against FIU, you got to fight back, and that's what Middle Tennessee is looking to do this afternoon. An 0-2 coming up from Majinski with 2 outs. Here's a fastball, and it's delivered in low. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Owen Nowak, top 10 in the conference in runs scored. One of the best base runners that Middle Tennessee has at their disposal, but a clutch hitter as well. 1-2 pitch coming up. And another foul ball from Owen Nowak over the netting here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. Count at 1-2. Blue Raiders led the entire way against FIU last night. They've been trailing for the majority of this contest thus far. 1-2 pitch, high chopper over towards second, and it got right past Sammy Fisher. Coming around is Rogers, he'll score. The throw will stop Brett Von Dolen at third, but 2 runners aboard for the Blue Raiders and Owen Nowak with a game-changing RBI single to make it a 1-run game. What a game changer that Owen Nowak proves to be time and time again. We talked about it. He just had a sense he was going to be able to do something like that. And he puts the Blue Raiders in position down just 1 run here in the top half of the 4th. Tyler Minnick will come to the plate. Fisher tried to chase after that ball. Looked like he might have had a shot at it, but he was unable to get to it in time. Now Minnick to the plate. This pitch, fastball high and inside for ball 1. Minnick did a good job to just watch it go by. Flew a ball out to center his last time up, has also grounded out to third today. And that will be delivered for ball number, a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Minnick so far in the game, like I said, 0 for 2. 57 hits on the year, 44 RBIs. Majinski's pitch misses. Count goes to 2-1. Tyler Minnick with 3 hits yesterday against FIU. Can he get hit number 4 of the weekend right here? 2-1. Almost made contact with him. High and tight from Majinski. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. The tying run is at third base for MTSU with Brett Von Dolen. Just need 1 good swing to bring him home. And what MTSU will get instead is ball number 4 and a 5-pitch walk worked by Tyler Minnick. So the bases are juiced for the Blue Raiders. And Cooper Clapp, who already has a solo home run today, the lone homer for MTSU, is at the plate and ready to make a charge. But before that, Rich Witten is going to make his way out of the dugout to go talk to Julian Majinski and perhaps consider a pitching change. We'll see. You have to keep all options open here with a guy who's already gotten a home run in this contest and a chance to give his team the lead, and Majinski's day will come to an end. So Julian Majinski will head back to the dugout. We'll see a new pitcher on the mound for FIU in just a moment. Blue Raiders with 2 runs in the top half of the 4th trying to take the lead right back. Back in 1 minute right here to Miami on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Back here in sunny Miami, Florida on this Saturday afternoon, Julian Majinski's day comes to an end after 3 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 2 earned runs with 4 total runs allowed. 1 strikeout, went to a pitch count of 58 in this afternoon's contest. And the new pitcher on the mound for FIU is the lefty George Adams. Standing at 6'2", 195 pounds, the sophomore out of Massapequa, New York, played at Massapequa High School and is a transfer from Stony Brook. 7.26 ERA on the season with a 1-0 record, 39 2/3 innings pitched. He had a season-high 5 innings pitched with 8 strikeouts against Florida Atlantic back on March the 7th. And last year at Stony Brook, he had a 3-4 record with a 7.59 ERA, 45 strikeouts, and 40 1/3 innings pitched. Led all rookies in several pitching categories and has now come to FIU, trying to do some damage in Conference USA. 39 2/3 innings pitched on the season with 42 strikeouts. This will be his 15th appearance for the Panthers this season. He has made 6 starts as well. He will face off with Cooper Clapp. Bases juiced, 2 outs. MTSU down just 1 run, trying to retake the lead. First pitch from Adams is a breaking ball. Count goes to 1-0. FIU used 5 pitchers yesterday. This their second today. We'll see how many more FIU ends up using. 1-0. Here's a ball popped up into the shallow part of the infield, and the ball will be caught by the second baseman Sammy Fisher for out number 3. So MTSU strands 3 runners on base, cannot retake the lead. However, they do score 2 runs in the top half of the 4th inning with an RBI double from Brett Rogers and an RBI single from Owen Nowak. 1-run game here in Miami. Back in 1 minute for the bottom of the 4th on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
With nearly 200 majors and concentrations for undergrads and more than 100 graduate programs, Middle Tennessee State University has something for everyone, including more than 50 online degrees. Do you want high-quality, affordable education? It's not too late to apply. Learn more at mtsu.edu. Big thanks to our friends over at MTSU, and again, we want to congratulate all of the graduates from the MTSU class of spring 2026. Hopefully enjoying your commencement ceremonies, or have enjoyed your commencement ceremonies if you're listening into our broadcast at this point. It's about, 3:17 Central Time, so we should be approaching the end of those. Kyle Kaler at the plate for FIU. MTSU down by just 1 run after a 2-run top half of the 4th. Designated hitter watching this pitch from Chandler Alderman, who remains on the bump, go wide. Count goes to 1-0. Kaler in his first at-bat flew a ball out to center field. 1-0 pitch from Alderman. Misses the zone. MTSU's given up the 5 runs. All of those have been scored off of home runs. 3 homers for the Panthers so far. Alderman fastball, chopped to short. Badalak is there. Throws on to first, and that will be a 6-3. 1 away here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Next man up will be Cole Cleveland, the number 9 man on the order. Hit by pitch. Got him to first base the first time he was up, and there's that Cleveland Rocks song again. I have no idea who sings that. I got to find that out later, because that is actually kind of a catchy tune. Cleveland looking to get on base in a bit less of a painful fashion this time. Alderman fastball delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Cole Cleveland, all too familiar with MTSU. Had some great experience against them last year. Fouls this one back above the stands. Count goes to 0-2. Cole Hall out of the Bronx, New York. He's actually played a game at Yankee Stadium. And his favorite athlete is Josh Hart of the New York Knicks. And he must have been pretty fired up after they won their game last night. Here's a pop-up that will be fouled back. Count goes to 0-2. Cleveland with a season-high 3 hits versus Florida Gulf Coast back on March the 10th with 3 RBIs against Florida Atlantic. Out of March 31st, former Conference USA member, now in the American. 0-2, another foul ball from Cleveland. Count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. Last year against MTSU, Cole Cleveland had 2 hits with a home run and 3 RBIs in game number 3 that helped FIU to clinch the series against the Blue Raiders. 0-2 from Alderman. Another foul ball from Cleveland right into the backstop. Doing a really good job as Cole Cleveland of just standing in there and taking everything that Alderman's giving to him, trying not to flinch. And Alderman staying out there, despite some of his struggles today, shows the faith that Jerry Myers has in him, and that faith is being rewarded. A swing and a miss for Cole Cleveland, and that will be the 5th strikeout for Chandler Alderman in this game. That will send on Sammy Fisher. 2 away here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Fisher delivered a 3-run home run in the bottom half of the 2nd. He's also got a double in this game, so 2 for 2 so far against Chandler. But Alderman with a strike. Count goes to 0-1. And perhaps Chandler Alderman starting to find his sweet spot in this frame. Not this time, as it's a bit too far to the inside. Count evens at 1-1. Alderman working a little bit faster than he did earlier, it seems, as well. And a swing and a miss by Fisher. Count goes to 1-2. That breaking ball is doing wonders right now for Chandler Alderman and has him on the verge of 2 straight strikeouts to end the 4th inning. Can he do it? 1-2. Yes, he can. Called strike 3 on Sammy Fisher, the 6th strikeout of the game for Chandler Alderman, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Blue Raiders here in the bottom half of the 4th. Our score remains FIU 5, Middle Tennessee 4. MTSU will have a chance to retake the lead in the top of the 5th when we come back on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Back here in Miami, Florida, Dylan Simmons with you. Top half of the 5th inning. between Middle Tennessee and FIU. 5-4 is your score. Blue Raiders getting a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom half of the fourth inning behind 2 Chandler Alderman strikeouts. And now MTSU trying to take it to George Adams and this FIU defense in the top half of the fifth. They will be led off by Nathan Brewer. 4, 5, 6 due up in the order for Middle Tennessee in this top half of the fifth inning. Brewer, after his record-setting day yesterday, 0 for 2 so far in this game. But always lurking for a home run is Nathan Brewer. And at least for this weekend, number 47, trying to make the most of his opportunity. We'll see if George Adams is able to deter Brewer the way that Julian Majinski was. Offering here is high. Count goes to 1-0. FIU 31-27 a year ago. 23-9 at home last year. As this will be fouled by Brewer. Count evens at 1-1. They've made the conference tournament 2 years in a row. It's actually going to be called for a ball. My apologies. Count at 2-0. And a swing and a miss here. No doubt about this one. So that goes for a strike. Count at 2-1 strike for Brewer. Panthers trying to claw their way back into the CUSA tournament race, but it's going to be a difficult process as that pitch is low for ball number 2. Count goes to 2-2 on Brewer, so I guess they did call a foul ball on that original looking play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brewer will chop this one foul to the right of the first base bag. And we'll try it again. FIU's one CUSA series win this year came against Kennesaw State at home. And, oh, that's a hit by pitch on Brewer, I believe. Or no, actually, it's going to be off of his bat. I thought that may have got his helmet initially, actually, but apparently it went off of his bat and then maybe crested over him. So, count will be at 2-2. Glad that that's the case. Here's a ground ball right through the middle for a base hit. Nathan Brewer stands in on a 2-2 count and delivers a leadoff single for MTSU. Not as sensational as what he was doing yesterday, but MTSU will absolutely take the hit. And a runner aboard, the tying run for MTSU. That'll bring on Lane Akers, the DH. Akers got a single his last time up on a play that originally looked like it could be an E6 on Mario Trivella. Wasn't called as such. No outs here in the top of the fifth. Runner at first, and a fastball from George Adams is going to be high for ball number 1. Trying to pick up where he left off in the top half of the fourth inning when he originally subbed in. Tries a pickoff back to first, unsuccessful. Watched as Julian Majinski pitched 3 2/3 innings to start the game. Adams with a 1-0 coming up on Akers. And here's a fly ball over to right field. Candelas camping underneath it, and he will backpedal to make the catch for out number 1. That'll bring on Brett Rogers for MTSU, who delivered a big-time RBI double in the top half of the fourth inning his last time up. And he's looking for more right here. Rogers 1 hit, 1 run scored today. First time up, reached on a hit by pitch. So 1 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Was looking at Lane Akers' stats for a second there. As they try pickoff back to first. Trying to see if they can get Brewer. One out. Pitch delivered here for a strike by George Adams. And that will bring the count to 0-1 on Brett Rogers. He's got Dean O'Neill waiting in the wings. That breeze we talked about earlier, still fluttering towards the left field area. Here is a softly hit ball to third. Throw to second in time for 1. Throw to first in time for the double play to end the top half of the fifth inning. So FIU able to get a double play off of Brett Rogers' ground out. And MTSU's hopes of taking the lead will have to wait just a little bit longer. Panthers on top 5-4. Back for the bottom of the fifth in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back to Florida International University. Dylan Simmons with you on this Saturday afternoon. Blue Raiders down to the FIU Panthers by a score of 5-4 in what's been a very entertaining baseball game so far. Second game of the series between FIU and Middle Tennessee. Still a lot yet to be decided in this afternoon's edition of Conference USA baseball action. Panthers looking to extend their lead in just a moment. They will be led off by Mario Trivella, who has reached base once today on a walk, has also struck out swinging. 2-3-4 due up in the order for FIU. Chandler Alderman and MTSU were able to deliver a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom half of the fourth, and now looking for a similar result here on the Panthers to keep the deficit at just 1 run. Alderman got a couple of strikeouts in that inning. Already has 6 in this game, which is a very impressive number for him this season. In fact, that should be his new, or at least close to his new season high in strikeouts. Swing and a miss for Trivella here. Count goes to 1-1. Alderman got 4 strikeouts against New Mexico State back in March. But this looking like shades of the old Chandler Alderman that we saw a lot 2024-25, as this pitch is going to bounce off of the batter's box. Count goes to 2-1. As the home plate umpire, I think they're going to say it's a hit by pitch. Oh, okay, so a hit by pitch that will send on Mario Trivella. I was wondering what the discussion was about there. Jerry Myers doesn't seem to agree with that, at least wants an explanation. Looks like it won't be a very contentious discussion. I think he was waiting for the call as well as everybody else was. It was so delayed that you didn't know exactly what happened at first. Thought it was just going to be called for a regular ball, but instead it's a hit by pitch. So Trivella on to first here in the bottom half of the fifth inning with Cooper Rasmussen to the plate. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-1. Rasmussen also reached on a hit by pitch earlier in the contest. Struck out swinging in the second. Pretty quiet weekend by his standards, as this pitch is low and caught in no man's land, trying to take off for second, and getting tagged out at second base is Mario Trivella, as it was Tyler Minnick, who had great awareness behind the dish, was watching Trivella, who tried to take off for second, realized he was in no man's land, and Minnick didn't hesitate, threw it to get the out on Trivella, and a good job by MTSU of staying aware, and a good job as well by Cooper Clapp of getting the tag on Trivella to get the out. So now nobody aboard with 1 out for the Panthers. This pitch by Alderman misses. Count goes to 2-1. So the awkward hit by pitch that we saw from a moment ago amounts to virtually nothing for FIU. Count at 2-1 and a swing and a miss here for Rasmussen. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The hit by pitch has been one thing that Alderman has struggled with today, for better or worse. Has issued a total of 3 hit by pitches in this contest. 2-2, Rasmussen, fly ball, a pop-up towards shallow left and caught in foul ground by Brett Von Dolan for out number 2. So that will be 2 away here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Rasmussen retired, and that will bring on Andrew Ildefonso, who already has a solo home run in this game. Has nobody on base here, but still has the potential to help extend the FIU lead. Alderman trying to make it through 5. Fastball here for a strike, counted 0-1. Nice work by Alderman on that pitch. Alderman so far with 80 total pitches in this game. So he's getting up there in the pitch count, but still has some room to work with. We've seen him go for 8 innings in the past. Went 7 earlier this year against UAB. Has the count at 0-2, looking for his 7th strikeout of the game. Here's a chopper over to short. Badalak is there, comes up with an awkward catch, throws to first, and got it to O'Neill in time for a nice 6-3. Great recovery by Clay Badalak after the ball took an awkward bounce, looked like almost off his body, able to capture the ball and then get it to O'Neill for the out. So the bottom of the 5th comes to an end, and MTSU keeps the score at 5-4. Panthers on top. Back for the top of the 6th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Back here for the top half of the 6th inning between Middle Tennessee and FIU, as the Panthers and the Blue Raiders just about deadlocked in game number 2, but FIU with a slim 1-run advantage. It's been a very fun game to watch so far, and MTSU trying to get their first lead since way back in the 2nd inning on FIU. They'll have a chance as Dean O'Neill will lead off in the top half of the 6th. He'll be followed by Brett Von Dolan and Clay Badalak. 7, 8, 9 due up in the order for the Blue Raiders. George Adams still on the mound, fires in a breaking ball wide of the plate. Count goes to 1-0. MTSU had a 2-run top of the 4th, couldn't follow up on it in the top of the 5th. Now trying to get their answer here. O'Neill swing and a miss. Has been frustrated by this FIU pitching so far. Still looking for that first hit of the weekend. Very much still has it, though, in his capabilities. Count at 1-1. Fouls this one back. Count goes to 1-2 strikes. Blue Raiders trying to pick up the first 2 wins of the series and clinch their first CUSA Road Series win since 2024 against Jacksonville State this weekend. Here's a chopper over to second. Fisher grabs it cleanly this time and gets it to first for a 4-3 and out number 1. Sammy Fisher's had some struggles with bouncing balls today, but doesn't have any problems with that one. That'll send on Brett Von Dolan, 1 down in the top half of the 6th inning. Von Dolan has an RBI single in this game. He also reached on an E6 back in the 4th inning. 1 for 2 days so far. 1 out here as Adams fires in a fastball to the outside. Count at 1-0. Von Dolan, the number 8 man in the order, looking to make some magic happen. Check swing, called for a strike. They say he went around, and the count goes to 1-1. It was very close, but first base umpire made the call. Redshirt junior out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 1-1, swing and a miss. A nice fastball from George Adams, and the count goes to 1-2. Von Dolan had a season-high 5 runs batted in versus UAB on March the 7th. had 2 homers and 3 hits against Alabama A&M on March 24th for season highs. He won't add to his stats today with that. It's a strikeout swinging from George Adams, 2 down in the top half of the 6th inning. So that will retire Brett Von Dolan, and it sends on Clay Badalak for the Blue Raiders. Haven't seen a lot of strikeouts from FIU in this game. In fact, that is just the 2nd strikeout that the Panthers have managed between Majinski and Adams in this contest. Badalak, chopper to the right side, picked up by the first baseman, throws on to the pitcher, and Adams tagged the bag in time for the out. Aiden Kohal had to back up nearly to shallow right field to field that thing cleanly, but still got it to Adams for a 3-1. Don't see that every day. And that will bring us to the bottom half of the 6th inning. MTSU gets 1-2-3. Panthers still on top 5-4. Back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to Miami, Florida. FIU on top of Middle Tennessee by a score of 5-4. Hey, while we've got a moment, we want to thank Dr. Davis Spivey and Murfreesboro Oral Surgery and Implant Center, proud supporters of Blue Raider Athletics. For over 25 years, Dr. Spivey has provided the best oral surgical care possible to our community. Middle Tennessee trying to overcome a 1-run deficit on the FIU Panthers, but they're going to have to be back on defense here in this bottom half of the 6th inning as FIU goes back to work.
First baseman,
Aiden Kohal at the plate already has a solo home run shot in this game. Chandler Alderman on the mound for the Blue Raiders. Through 5 innings, he's had ups and downs, but has kept the score close for MTSU. And now is trying to, once again, limit what the Panthers can accomplish in this frame and keep MTSU down by just 1 run. Fastball for a strike there. 0-1 pitch coming up for the southpaw. And this is fouled off by Kohal. Count goes to 0-2. 11 combined hits between these two teams so far. 6 for Middle, 5 for FIU. And, of course, Aiden Kohal got a single up the middle. Got a single his last time up. Here's a ground ball to third, picked up by Von Dolan. Throws on to first, and Chu O'Neill for a 5-3 for out number 1. So that'll be another out on Kohal, and it'll send on Caden Samler, who has a single and a strikeout swinging thus far in the contest.
catcher,
Those came in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Hasn't batted since the 3rd inning due to the effectiveness of the MTSU defense. Now 1 away here. Alderman trying to make this another quick frame for the Blue Raiders. And this is fouled off by Samler. Count goes to 0-1. Blue Raiders have been in tough fights like this before. They've had some games that have gotten away from them late, but you can feel the confidence that has kind of risen for this team throughout this weekend. They feel as though they're in the catbird seat. Alderman's offering here is a little bit away from the zone. Count goes to 1-1. Just barely missed being strike 2. FIU got off to an effective start hitting, but they're 6 for 25 now. 240 team batting average for the game. This is outside from Alderman. Count goes to 2-1. Blue Raiders 6 for 25. FIU 5 for 19. Still not as consistent as they were at the start of the game. MTSU with a 240 team batting average. FIU at 263 for this contest. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the way from Alderman, and his offering is high for ball 3. Count goes to 3-1 as he went to the fastball there and couldn't quite place it low enough against Samler. Did not start yesterday's game. 3-1 pitch. Samler fouls this one up, and it's going to land somewhere outside the ballpark. That's big for Chandler Alderman because it runs the count full, and a 3-2 coming up. What can Alderman do with this payoff pitch? Taking his time here. 3-2, and that will be ball number 4. Could not quite get the elevation needed on that pitch to get the strikeout. And Caden Samler is at first with a base on balls. Hector Candelas will come to the plate for FIU as Rich Witten continues to guide traffic from the FIU dugout. 4th season as the Panthers head coach. A 94 and 124 record all time as the head coach at FIU. Last year helped the team to 31 wins, their most since 2017. Recorded 13 CUSA victories. And has helped reconstruct this roster after it was raided by the portal in many ways last season. Count goes to 1-0. Also was at VCU for 4 seasons as a hitting coach and recruiting coordinator. Helped them to some great years. Count at 1-0 here, and the pitch gets away from Minnick. That will allow Caden Samler to get over to second. Count goes to 2-0, and the Panthers now with a runner in scoring position. So Hector Candelas and FIU in an even more advantageous position here with this 2-0 coming up. Can the Panthers extend the lead, or does Alderman have an answer on Candelas? 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Great fastball from Alderman. That's the kind of pitch he needs to be able to keep Candelas from potentially scoring Samler. Samler not a huge threat to steal base. He's only stolen 1 base this season, but still has some speed on the base paths. Alderman takes a look back at second. Able to avoid a balk this time. Had one of those earlier. 2-1 pitch coming up. Alderman taking his time, sizing it up, and delivers a strike towards the top part of the zone here. Count goes to 2-2. Nice breaking ball from Chandler Alderman. Needs 1 more of those to get what would be his 7th strikeout of the game and get out number 2. And he's going to put in this one a little low. Count at 3-2, full count coming up on Hector Candelas. Last payoff pitch resulted in a walk for FIU. What's going to happen here? Three left on the pitch clock, 3-2, and fouled into the net. Keeps the count full. Alderman was working a lot faster earlier. Seems as though he's taking more time in between his pitches here to make sure that he's got the stuff that he wants against FIU. We'll see if that continues for this pitch. 3-2, 1 away. Runner at second. Here's a fly ball out to center field. Camping underneath it is Nowak. It drifts into left center. He makes the catch and makes sure that Samler can't advance to third. He'll stay put at second. 2 away here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Good catch by Owen Nowak, and that will bring on Kyle Kaler for FIU. Fula ball out to center his first time up, and has also grounded out to short in this game. Kaler trying to get FIU their 6th hit of the contest. Runner still at second base for FIU. Blue Raiders hoping to keep Samler stranded there and keep themselves in a 1-run contest. And Jerry Myers, after that last out, going to make his way out of the dugout and at least have a conversation with Chandler Alderman. And you'd have to think Alderman's approaching that limit pitching-wise. He's at 100 pitches, and it looks like that will be the end of the day for Chandler Alderman. So Alderman gets a nice ovation from the MTSU fans, and well-deserved. Wasn't the prettiest outing early, but he rebounded well and kept MTSU in this contest. Full kudos goes to him. So we'll see the new pitcher for MTSU in just a moment. 5-4 game, 2 outs. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner to Miami.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Chandler Alderman's day has come to an end after 5 2/3 innings pitched. He gives up 5 earned runs with 6 strikeouts. Pretty solid day. Obviously a few earned runs given up, but considering what FIU's done this weekend, he did a pretty good job of standing in there. He goes for 100 total pitches against FIU before being brought out. The new pitcher on the mound for Middle Tennessee is Landon Birch. Birch with a 4.59 ERA, a 4-3 record on the year, 33 1/3 innings pitched. This will be appearance number 21 for the senior out of Corning, New York. 30 strikeouts, 34 hits given up, 13 walks. He does have 2 saves this season, and he did face off with FIU last year. Had 2 1/3 innings pitched with 1 hit, 1 strikeout forced against FIU in the second game of last year's series in Murfreesboro. And now trying to get the final out here in the bottom half of the 6th to keep this game at 1 run, approaching the top half of the 7th inning. It will be Enrique Alvarez Jr. coming in for Kyle Kaler as a pinch hitter, taking over in the DH spot here in this bottom half of the 6th inning. Runner at second is Caden Samler for FIU. What can Landon Birch do here? He tries a breaking ball, places it to the inside. Count goes to 1-0. MTSU in a dogfight trying to take the series in Miami today. Then have a chance to sweep the Panthers tomorrow, but right now down 1 run. Trying to lean on Landon Birch. Big man on the mound. Another breaking ball. Little loop shot into the infield that will be caught easily by Brett Von Dolan for out number 3. So MTSU able to once again turn away the Panthers and keep the score at 5-4. Blue Raiders will have a chance to recapture that lead in the top half of the 7th inning when we come back on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Back here at the FIU Baseball Stadium on this Saturday afternoon, May 9th, 2026. Dylan Simmons with you for MTSU baseball action. Blue Raiders down 5-4 to the FIU Panthers, trying to claim their 25th win of the season. and their 12th win in Conference USA play, and most importantly, claim a Road CUSA Series win over FIU this weekend in Miami. Panthers have held the lead for the last few innings, since the second inning to be specific, but Middle Tennessee is stuck with them, and they feel as though with the lineup that they have in the top of the 7th, I'm sure that they can retake the lead, and it's Owen Nowak who will lead off, the number 1 man in the order at the plate for MTSU. He'll be followed by Tyler Minnick and Cooper Clapp. George Adams is still on the mound for FIU after coming in for Julian Majinski. Lefty batter against lefty pitcher right here. Who's going to win this war of attrition? MTSU needs just 1 run to tie this game up on the FIU Panthers as the count goes to 1-0. Owen Nowak got an RBI single his last time up, delivers a ground ball here. It is going to be gobbled up by Fisher, who throws back to first, and safe at first base is Owen Nowak. Fisher had a bit of an awkward stance after fielding that baseball, had to turn all the way around and kind of spin throw it, and the throw to Aiden Cohall took the first baseman off the bag and allows Owen Nowak to reach first base. So a runner aboard for MTSU, and that'll send on Tyler Minnick for the Blue Raiders as Rich Witten wants to have a discussion with the umpire about that last call. Wonder if he thinks that the throw got there in time to Cohall. It was pretty bang-bang in some respects, but I would say that it's going to be hard to overturn any situation here. And Rich Witten, I don't think he's too satisfied with the explanation, but there's nothing he can do about it at the moment, so he'll head back to the FIU dugout. Owen Nowak is aboard, and the Blue Raiders have Tyler Minnick at the plate with a chance to bring him on home. Owen Nowak answered the call. Let's see if Minnick can do the same. Tying run is at first base for the Blue Raiders. And here's a ball softly hit, fouled. Count goes to 0-1. It will be officially awarded as a single for Nowak, by the way. On that 1-0 count, Minnick 0 for 2, but reached on a walk his last time up. And delivers a high fly ball here towards right center, drifting towards right, caught by Hector Candelas for out number 1. 1 down for MTSU in the top of the 7th. Cooper Clapp will come to the plate.
Second baseman, Cooper Clapp.
Of course, he had the solo home run in the top half of the first inning that initially gave MTSU the lead. They would eventually build that to a 2-0 lead off of a Brett Von Dolan RBI single, but they've trailed ever since. 1 away here in the top of the 7th. Owen Nowak, speedy at first. And a strike here for George Adams. Count goes to 0-1. Cooper Clapp with a .309 average on the season. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 RBI today. He has struck out once in this contest. 0-1 count coming up. Pitch by Adams, fastball, in for a strike. Count goes to 0-2. Give credit to George Adams. Outside of the 4th inning, he has been very solid at keeping MTSU at bay in this contest. Showing no evidence of slowing down yet, but the Blue Raiders feel as though they're near a breakthrough. But can they get that done on Adams as that pitch misses? Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blue Raiders at 7 hits to FIU's 5. Only difference right now is the total home runs that the Panthers have. They have 3 homers that account for all 5 of their runs scored in this game. MTSU with just the 1 from Cooper Clapp, that solo shot. Can he get his second home run here to help lift MTSU to the lead? High pitch from George Adams. Count goes to 2-2. Nowak has stolen 8 bases this season. Something to keep in mind here if he wants to potentially take off, especially on a 2-2 count. 2-2 from Adams. Here's a chopper to third. Picked up and thrown to second for 1 out. Throw to first will not happen. Safe at first base on a fielder's choice is Cooper Clapp. But the Panthers take out the leadoff runner in Owen Nowak. And 2 away in the top half of the 7th inning. So Nathan Brewer will come to the plate. Good work by Cooper Rasmussen to get that out, but the speed of Clapp still carried him to first. So we're back to the tying run at first base with Nathan Brewer at the plate for MTSU. 2 away in the top of the 7th. Brewer got a single up the middle in the 5th inning, his lone hit of the day so far for the new Conference USA single-game home run king. And throw back to first to see if Cooper Clapp can be taken care of. Unsuccessful. Nathan Brewer looking for another game-changing shot this weekend as he had yesterday. And again, Adams takes a look back to first, not wanting to risk giving up a stolen base to Cooper Clapp, who has stolen 7 bases this season. He has been caught stealing 3 times. No count with 2 outs to Brewer. And a pitch outside by George Adams. Count moves to 1-0. FIU entered the weekend as the number 11 team in Conference USA in team ERA, 7.43. This is going to be a foul ball. Count goes to 1-1. Gave up 11 runs yesterday to MTSU and 4 homers to Nathan Brewer, so they haven't done much to change that reputation of struggling with pitching. They're last in hits allowed given up, but still outscoring MTSU here on this Saturday afternoon. Number 10 in walks allowed, 9th in strikeouts, 10th in hit by pitches, last in total saves. Panthers trying to put all that behind them. Get a victory here at home today against Middle Tennessee. Count at 1-1 to Brewer. And a swing and a miss, make it a 1-2. Great fastball from George Adams. He needs one more of those to put an end to the top half of the 7th inning and preserve the 1-run lead for FIU. 1-2 pitch on the way from Adams. And he's going to look it back to first. Goes after Clapp again. Aiden Cohal throw took him off the bag, so no way to get the pickoff to work that time either. So again, we'll try the 1-2 to Nathan Brewer. And why not? Another pickoff on Clapp. He's really working him over there, trying to see if there's any way to get that 3rd and final out. But at this point, looks as though he's just delaying the inevitable. We'll see if Brewer's inevitable. Here's a drive into right field for a base hit. It rolls all the way toward the right field wall before being scooped up by Candelas. Advancing all the way to 3rd is Cooper Clapp. Runners at the corners for MTSU. Nathan Brewer now a 2-for-4 day with 2 straight singles. Lane Akers will come to the plate. As I said, Nathan Brewer, he may be inevitable. Brilliant shot into right field. And here comes the DH Lane Akers as Caden Samler exchanges signals with George Adams, trying to get everything squared away. The tying run for MTSU is 90 feet away from scoring, but with 2 outs, you got to get a ball in play and make sure that it's a hit to score this run. And a swing and a miss for Akers here. Foul tip. Count goes to 0-1. Akers did get a single back in the 4th inning. Has also reached on a hit by pitch today. Another pitch to the DH. High fastball evens the count at 1-1. Yesterday for MTSU, Lane Akers had a solid outing. Now looking for more. 1-1 and low outside for ball 2 from George Adams. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Akers was 2 for 5 yesterday with 2 hits and 2 runs for the Blue Raiders. Can he get his 2nd hit of the day today? It's not going to happen yet, as that's ball 3 on a low pitch from Adams. Went back to that breaking ball, and now the opportunity to load the bases is very much present for Lane Akers here. How will he manage this 3-1 coming up? He'll chop it foul towards the FIU dugout, and the count runs full one more time. 3-2 coming up for the designated hitter. trying to avoid stranding 2 runners on base and giving up a prime chance to tie this game. Can Akers make the most of it? 3-2, in for a strike. A strikeout looking on Lane Akers, and George Adams indeed turns away the Blue Raiders when they were on the doorstep of tying the game. Panthers showing a lot of fight in the top half of the 7th. MTSU still denied of tying this game. Stretch time here in Miami. We'll be back for the bottom of the 7th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely.
Can we do a legal ID after this?
Who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back here to Florida International University. Dylan Simmons here as we approach the bottom half of the 7th inning in this Blue Raider baseball game. While we've got a moment, want to thank our friends at Raiders Rising Collective. Raiders Rising is the official NIL collective for MTSU Athletics. Raiders Rising provides student athletes from all 17 varsity teams at MTSU opportunities to earn income based on their name, image, and likeness. Follow at Raiders Rising on X and RaidersRising.com for more information on upcoming events, how to donate, become a member, and more. Cole Cleveland to the plate for FIU against Landon Birch. Number 9 man in the order, 9-1 and 2 due up in this 5-4 baseball game. This pitch by Birch, too far to the inside. Count goes to 1-0 off of that breaking ball. Blue Raiders frustrated in the top half of the 7th, had runners at the corners with 2 outs, but unable to tie the game up. Another scoreless frame. They have not scored since the top half of the 4th. No one has scored since then. FIU has not scored since the 3rd inning. Birch, nice fastball for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Started off as a pretty high-scoring game, reminiscent of yesterday, but pitching-wise, both teams have settled in since then, and it's become a bit more of a defensive battle. Birch taking his time on this 1-1. It is fouled off by Cleveland. Rolls behind the batter's box. Count goes to 1-2. Lefty batter for the FIU Panthers, and sometimes against right-handed pitchers, that can present a very unique situation. Landon Birch trying to make sure that that doesn't cause too many problems right here. 1-2 pitch, breaking balls high for ball number 2. Tried to target the top part of the zone with the timing of that breaking ball, but just couldn't manage it. Count even at 2-2. Birch's pitch is going to be fouled on a ground ball to the right of the first base bag. So we'll try the 2-2 count once again in this chess match between batter and pitcher. Two balls and 2 strikes. Birch taking his time, and a swing and a miss from Cole Cleveland. Landon Birch answers the call and gets a big-time strikeout on Cleveland to start the bottom half of the 7th inning. That will be Landon Birch's first strikeout of this game and the 7th total for Middle Tennessee. We go back to the top of the order to Sammy Fisher, who's already 2 for 3 today with a double and a 3-run home run for the Panthers. His homer probably the biggest play of the game so far. Birch goes upstairs. Count goes to 1-0. Trying to target that outside portion of the plate. against Sammy Fisher, who has struggled in the infield but been great with his bat so far in this game. And again, Birch tried to go high, but it's just too high and Fisher not biting on it. Count at 2-0. Trying to get Fisher to chase after that. But Sammy Fisher very disciplined at the plate. Not going to give up anything like that too easily. 2-0 pitch. This time Birch straightens it up for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Sammy Fisher a couple years ago had success against MTSU. A pair of runs with a double against MTSU on March 15th here in Miami, and a 2-run single on March 17th against the Blue Raiders. And now has a 3-1 count right here against Landon Birch and the Blue Raiders in the bottom half of the 7th inning with one away, trying to help his Panthers to a Game 2 victory. 3-1 pitch on the way from Birch. And too low, ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn by Sammy Fisher. A man who is very good at doing exactly that. Came into the weekend tied for second in walks forced in Conference USA, and he adds another one here in the top half or bottom half of the 7th inning.
Mario Trivella.
Here comes Mario Trivella to the plate for FIU. The shortstop has been hit by a pitch twice in this game. Struck out swinging the first time he was up to the plate. So he's had a bit of a painful experience, but he's managed to get on base. Has not scored a run yet today for the Panthers, though. Would love to change that right here. As another plane flies by in the distance, Miami International Airport, not too far from this ballpark, so you see a plane flying in about every 20 seconds or so. A lot of stuff going on here in America's Playground, and this game certainly one of the important events of the weekend. Count at 2-0 here. Runner at first is Sammy Fisher. Birch taking a lot of time. One on the pitch clock. Does get it off, and a swing and a miss. Very similar to what we saw from Chandler Alderman before he was brought out of the game. Landon Birch not wanting to risk giving up a potential ball or making a mistake. Taking his time with these pitch selections. Doing it again here. Inside of 3, 2, 1 on the pitch clock. And this ball will be popped up on the left side. Nathan Brewer will camp underneath it and make the catch in left field for out number 2. And I'll say this, Landon Birch barely got that thing off. I don't know if he did exactly before the pitch clock expired. Looked like there was triple zeros and the ball was still in his hands, but we're not going to complain about it. Cooper Rasmussen will come to the plate for FIU. And hey, Birch can be as patient as he needs to be. We'll wait all day if we have to. We just got to get those outs if you're a Middle Tennessee fan. Rasmussen 0 for 2. Reached on a hit by a pitch back in the first. Struck out in the second and popped it up to third in the 5th inning. Rasmussen still looking for that breakout performance of the weekend. Came into the weekend as one of the top batters on the team, but hasn't had a lot of success against Middle. Trying to maybe trigger something late. Counted 0-1 here. Pitch on the way from Birch, and he placed this one a little bit wide. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Sammy Fisher represents what would be a 2-run lead for the Panthers. But Landon Birch trying to get the job done. 1-1. And here is a ball fouled towards the right side. Count goes to 1-2. Certainly had a lot of height on it, but not quite the direction for Cooper Rasmussen. And we'll try a 1-2 once again for the junior out of Temecula, California. Birch again taking his time. Inside of 5 on the pitch clock. Here's his 1-2, and it's to the inside for ball number 2. Of course, Birch had a tough outing against Sam Houston a couple weekends ago that contributed to MTSU losing that series, but he's not a guy to hang his head too long. And you can see that he's made a lot of adjustments since then that is helping his team. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right to Dean O'Neill, who gobbles it up for the out. Fantastic job by O'Neill on that ground ball, and that will be an unassisted out at first that ends the 7th inning. FIU puts one on base, but nothing further, and it is still a 5-4 baseball game. Who's going to break the stalemate in Miami? We'll try to find out in the top of the 8th on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Back here at FIU Baseball Stadium, Dylan Simmons on the call. Top half of the 8th inning in game number 2 between Middle Tennessee and FIU this weekend. As you can hear in the background, the energy is loud and proud here in Miami this afternoon. FIU with a new pitcher on the mound. George Adams' day comes to an end after 3 1/3 innings pitched. No earned runs given up with 2 strikeouts. The new man on the mound is Tyrus Riley, and Riley's a guy who is pretty experienced, one of the better bullpen guys that FIU has at their disposal. A graduate student out of Bentonville, Arkansas, transferred from Fort Hays State with a 4.82 ERA on the season, a 2-3 record, 37 1/3 innings pitched, 40 strikeouts. Had a season-high 4 innings pitched versus Kennesaw State back on April 12th, 5 Ks versus Louisiana Tech on April the 2nd. And he is a former D2CAA All-America honorable mention and an ABCA first-team All-Region pick. He was also the MIAA Co-Pitcher of the Year. But right now, all that Middle Tennessee cares about is tying this game up. And Brett Rogers is going to look to do exactly that as he takes his spot at the plate. Number 6, 7, and 8 due up for Middle Tennessee in this top half of the 8th inning as Riley's first pitch is delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. We have not seen a run scored by either team since the top half of the 4th. It has been nothing but zeros as of late, with both teams stepping up defensively. Here's a drive into right field that gets down in the corner for a base hit. Rogers rounding first. He wants second. He will get there standing up, and it is a leadoff double for Brett Rogers in the top half of the 8th inning. He already got an RBI double back in the 4th inning, and he gets a leadoff double in the top half of the 8th inning to put the Blue Raiders in position, and the tying run is in scoring position for MTSU. Dean O'Neill comes to the plate for Middle Tennessee. Now this would be storybook. He's been struggling all weekend at the plate. Hasn't found a hit yet, but if there was ever a time to do it, it would be right now against Tyrus Riley and FIU. Rogers at second. This pitch here just misses the zone. Count goes to 1-0. Middle Tennessee as a team hitting 9 for 31 today. They've out-hit FIU 9-5, but they still trail by 1 run. They've struggled with runners in scoring position in this game, 2 for 10 overall as a team. FIU not much better, to be fair, 1 for 8. So both teams have struggled in those situations, but FIU has the home runs, and really the 3-run home run scored earlier by Sammy Fisher is the difference. Otherwise, MTSU would be leading right now. 1-1 pitch to O'Neill is high from Riley. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Dean O'Neill started off the season on a scorching pace for MTSU. Somewhat slowed down in conference play, but the senior Always has that ability deep inside of him as a strike comes in from Riley on a breaking ball. Count it 2-2. Entered the weekend tied for 10th in hits in CUSA, tied for 7th in home runs, and tied for 4th in RBIs. 2-2 pitch. Here's a chopper up over the mound, picked up by Fisher, throws on to first, and he got the throw there in time for a 4-3. Brett Rogers will advance to third base, one away here in the top half of the 8th inning. That was a pretty impressive play by Fisher. Had to field that one really close right to the second base bag and then turn around and throw it, but got it there in time. And it may have been an even better job by Aiden Cohall, the first baseman, to stretch out and secure that out for the Panthers. And as soon as Tyrus Riley takes the mound already, we've got a meeting on the mound for FIU. Brett Von Dolan will be the next man up for MTSU. And here's the thing. If the Blue Raiders get even a hit into the outfield, that would tie the game for MTSU in this situation, with Rogers already being at third. So you can understand Rich Witten and FIU's concern in this situation. MTSU's in a pretty enviable situation right here. The biggest thing you want to avoid is a ground out if you're Brett Von Dolan. He does have an RBI single already in this game, and we know he certainly has the capability to hit it far. No pitching change will be made as expected. Tyrus Riley's going to remain on the mound, but this is likely a let's be aware of this situation and not let MTSU do something that'll come back to bite us. So here we go. All eyes on Vondo with the other Brett Rogers at third, and he's going to lay down a bunt along the first base line. This will score the tying run for MTSU. Von Dolan is out at first, but doesn't matter that much with Rogers coming in to score. We're all knotted up at 5 runs apiece. A brilliant call by the Blue Raiders, just what the MTSU Blue Raiders needed to tie this game up. Clay Badalak will come to the plate, and all of a sudden we're all knotted up in Miami. That's going to be an RBI for Brett Von Dolan to send in Rogers. Badalak with a chopper through the right side for a base hit. It rolls all the way to Candelas, and Badalak is on with a 2-out single. So now all of a sudden, all the momentum that MTSU could ask for is in their hands in this top half of the 8th inning. Owen Nowak will come to the plate. 2 for 4 so far in this game. Couple of singles in a row. RBI single in the 4th and a regular single in the 7th. Badalak represents what would be the leading run currently at first base. 10 hits for the Blue Raiders so far in this game. And Owen Nowak, one of the most reliable and dependable guys on this team, has a chance to help give them the lead. Here's a fly ball deep to right field, back towards the wall, and it will be caught right at the warning track by Hector Candelas for out 3. That was very close to a potential game-changing 2-run homer for Owen Nowak. However, MTSU ties the game up with a nice bunt from Brett Von Dolan for an RBI. 5-5 here in Miami. Back for the bottom of the 8th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back. This is Blue Raider Baseball on WGNS and the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. And in Miami, we have reached the bottom half of the 8th inning between Middle Tennessee and FIU, all knotted up at 5 runs apiece after Brett Von Dolan delivered a brilliant RBI off of a sac bunt to score Brett Rogers in the top half of the 8th. And all of a sudden, it is a 5-5 game in Florida International. And MTSU trying to claim the series on the road against the Panthers this afternoon as Andrew Ildefonso will lead off here in this bottom half of the 8th inning for the Panthers. 4, 5, and 6 due up for FIU. Ildefonso, Kohal, and Caden Samler. Apologize for the background noise here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. It's so loud that it's tough to get it away from the microphone. They have really cranked up the volume on the PA system, so it's been loud all weekend, but hopefully it hasn't impacted your listening experience too much. Count goes to 0-1. Landon Birch still on the mound. He's done a pretty solid job so far. Here's a ground ball right too short. Badalak picks it up with his glove hand, throws to first, and that will be a 6-3 on Andrew Ildefonso. He's reached once in this game, but not going to reach there. That'll send on Aiden Kohal for the FIU Panthers. Much like Ildefonso, he's also got a solo home run in this contest, but has grounded out to third in his last 2 times up. Now Kohal at the plate, trying to find something for FIU, who's been in a drought since the 3rd inning. Panthers entered the weekend last in CUSA in batting average. You wouldn't know it with how the bats performed yesterday, but today, after a pretty fiery start, they just haven't had the same energy in this back part of the game. Alderman and Birch have helped that in a big way. Breaking ball upstairs here from Birch. Count goes to 1-1. Alderman ended up with 5 2/3 innings pitched with 6 strikeouts. Birch doing solid work so far and trying to keep it that way. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Aiden Kohal. Alderman delivers another breaking ball high. Count goes to 2-1. Aiden Kohal has done a solid job all weekend as both an infielder and a batter out of the Bronx, New York. Team leader in doubles entering the weekend with 17. Former man at Stonehill who had a .365 average last season. This pitch by Birch misses the zone. Count goes to 3-1. Also played at St. John's in 2024. Started 7 games with 6 hits, 3 doubles in his redshirt freshman season. 3 balls, 1 strike. Birch, swing and a miss for Kohal. Count runs full at 3-2. First baseman in a little bit of trouble here. Birch looking for a strikeout that would bring it to 2 outs in the bottom half of this 8th inning. Birch taking his time once again. It's worked for him so far. 3-2, and it's upstairs for ball 4. Kohal will make it to first base with a base on balls. Birch tried to stay patient on that pitch, but still couldn't get it low enough for the strikeout. So Caden Samler will come to the plate. The leading run is aboard for FIU in the bottom half of the 8th. Another close game right at the end. MTSU's been in a lot of those this year. They came out on the good side of it yesterday, trying to do the same today. Samler 1 for 2 so far in the game. Got a single back in the second. Here's a strike from Birch, targeting the outside corner. Count goes to 0-1. Samler has been struck out, though, back in the 3rd inning. Reached on a walk in the 6th. Inside of 5 left on the pitch clock. Delivered by Birch high on a breaking ball. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Middle Tennessee entered the weekend 3-16 on the road. Got their 4th road win of the season last night. 2nd CUSA road win. Now looking for number 3 and number 5 total on the road this season. Most importantly, a CUSA Road Series win. Here's a fly ball into left center field, back towards the wall, and it is out of here. It went off the glove, it looked like, of Nathan Brewer, and then over the wall right near the scoreboard, and the Panthers grabbed the lead back with a 2-run shot from Caden Samler. Oh my goodness. 7-5 FIU in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And it was tough to tell from my vantage point, but it looked like it went right off the glove of Nathan Brewer in deep left center field as he tried to leap up and make the catch. It may not have, but either way it went over the wall, and the Panthers have taken the lead off of a 2-run shot from Caden Samler. And all of a sudden, the hopes for MTSU diminish just that little bit as Jerry Myers will make his way out of the dugout to talk to Landon Birch. Obviously, that is a tough shot to give up, and he will end his day right there. Obviously, got to be disappointing for him, but these things end up happening from time to time, and MTSU will have to fight back to make sure that that home run doesn't impact the final result. Panthers on top 7-5. Caden Samler with a 2-run home run. We'll find out who the new pitcher is for the Blue Raiders in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Back here at the FIU Baseball Stadium, bottom half of the 8th inning between Middle Tennessee and FIU. Landon Birch's day comes to an end after giving up a 2-run home run to Caden Samler just a few moments ago, the 4th home run scored by FIU in this contest. Birch's day ends after an inning and 2/3 pitched with 2 earned runs, 2 runs, 1 hit given up, and 1 strikeout. So Colin Kerrigan will take his spot on the mound, number 30, who is looking to limit the damage that FIU inflicts in this bottom half of the 8th inning. MTSU knows they're at least going to have to get 2 runs in the top half of the 9th to extend this game, which they're very much capable of, but you don't want to put it all on that, and you also want to make sure you have as good of a chance as possible. Hector Candelas will be at the plate to meet Colin Kerrigan. Junior out of Nashville, Tennessee, 6'6", 245 pounds, out of Montgomery Bell Academy in high school ball. 6.43 ERA, a 3-2 record with 34 strikeouts, 32 hits given up on the year with 2 saves. This will be appearance number 21 for him. And Kerrigan, a man with 3 innings pitched versus St. Bonaventure back on February 21st and 4 strikeouts against New Mexico State on March 27th. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Pitch high from Kerrigan. Count goes to 1-0. It is Hector Candelas at the plate, 0 for 3 so far in this game. Did strike out swinging back in the 4th. As a 1-0 count here, swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1. Kerrigan looking to make sure that MTSU at least has a shot in the top of the 9th to extend this game on. It's not going to be easy, but with the bats that they have at their disposal, it is very much a possibility. Count at 1-1 as this is fouled back. Count goes to 1-2, just barely off the bat of Hector Candelas. Kerrigan trying to fire up this MTSU baseball team and give them the optimism they need going into the top of the 9th. This pitch just away from the zone. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Raiders, of course, lost the series to Western Kentucky on a very similar home run in Game 3 on Sunday. And they're hoping that that doesn't repeat itself right here. Here's a foul ball from Candelas toward the MTSU dugout. Count will stay at 2-2. They came here today to win the series against the Panthers, and they still very much have that potential, but you got to give credit to FIU. They have fought hard to give themselves a shot. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Colin Kerrigan will get his first strikeout of the game, and he gets a nice one in on Candelas to give us 2 outs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. That'll send on Enrique Alvarez Jr., who came in originally for Kyle Kaler as the DH and is still out there in the number 8 spot. But it's not going to be Enrique Alvarez Jr. Instead, it's going to be another pinch hitter. Trey Freeman will come in for FIU. So scratch off Alvarez Jr.'s name. It'll be Freeman instead who comes in the DH spot. We saw him come in as a pinch hitter yesterday, and here he is today. This pitch is low from Colin Kerrigan. Count goes to 1-0. We talked briefly about Freeman late in yesterday's game, and here he is in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Junior out of Tampa, Florida. Kerrigan just misses the zone on a breaking ball. Count at 2-0. Freeman had a season-high 2 hits versus the Miami Hurricanes back on March 18th. Crosstown, not rival per se, but a team that you want to beat for sure if you're FIU. Kerrigan with a strike here on a fastball. Count goes to 2-1. Freeman also played at Santa Fe College before he came to FIU. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kerrigan just low for ball 3. So the count moves to 3-1. Colin Kerrigan trying to come back from this deficit in the count. Get strike 2. And ball 4, a little bit high, and that will bring Freeman on to first. Base on balls for FIU. Cole Cleveland will come to the plate for the Panthers with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And FIU not done with MTSU yet in this frame. They want more runs and bigger insurance. Cole Cleveland will come to the plate for what will be his 3rd at-bat of the day. He has struck out twice in this game and reached on a hit-by pitch in the 2nd. There's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Nice work by Kerrigan. Doing a good job mixing in the breaking ball and fastball. Trying to confuse these FIU hitters. Keep himself and the team within distance. 0-1 pitch. Freeman at first. Here's a chopper right to second. Clapp is there, throws on to first, and that will be a 4-3. That will put an end to the bottom half of the 8th inning. But a 2-run home run by Caden Samler puts FIU on top 7-5. They are 3 outs away from victory. Middle Tennessee is going to have to find a way to find an answer in the top of the 9th if they want to extend this game forward. Back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Dylan Simmons here for the top of the 9th inning in Miami between the FIU Panthers and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. And sounds like a little Jimi Hendrix playing in the background for Tyrus Riley, who's on the bump here for FIU through 1 inning. He's given up 1 earned run with 2 hits. Middle Tennessee needs 2 runs at least in the top of the 9th to extend this game to the bottom of the 9th against FIU and pull off what would be a dramatic series clinching victory against FIU in Miami tonight. And if that's going to happen, they'll have to rely on numbers 2, 3, and 4 to get it started in the order. Tyler Minnick, Cooper Clapp, and Nathan Brewer. I think 3 guys that you'd have a lot of faith in to do exactly what MTSU needs are going to be at the plate to start things off. And it's on their shoulders to see if they can give MTSU a chance late in this contest. Tyler Minnick, 0 for 3 so far today. He has reached on a walk. It's been pretty quiet, though, compared to what he did yesterday. Flew a ball out to right back in the 7th in his last AB. Pitch by Riley is high for ball 1. This is where what Nathan Brewer talked about in the pregame show is going to really come into play. Patience and discipline. MTSU will need to show that in spades here and make sure they don't over-pursue anything at the plate. If you can get a walk, I think you have to take it at this point in time. Count at 2-0. Pitch on the way from Riley. This ball popped up. It's going to be fouled, and where's it going to land? Right on top of our tent, and it's right next to me. I've got a foul ball, everybody. And a nice round of applause from the MTSU fans right next to me. That's going to be a souvenir coming home on the plane. Maybe that's a good luck charm for this game, as that's a strike. Count goes to 2-2. So that's happened to me once before when I was up in Alaska calling baseball, but it's never happened to me at an MTSU game. So first time for everything. 2-2. And here's a high fly ball to right field. This will stay in the yard, and Candelas will make the catch for the out. So 1 away here in the top of the 9th. Second straight time that Minnick has flown a ball out to right field. Cooper Clapp will come to the plate for MTSU. 1 for 4 so far in this game. Did get the solo home run shot way back in the top half of the first. Can he get that sort of magic to happen again? This pitch inside, count goes to 1-0 off a breaking ball from Riley. Clapp has not managed to hit since. Struck out in the 3rd. Popped the ball up to 2nd in the 4th. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. Pitch is high, count goes to 2-0. He's got Nathan Brewer on deck, who we know can deliver a home run for MTSU. If you even get on base here, I think that got to feel solid about at least having an opportunity to tie the game. And that's ball 3. Tyrus Riley struggling to find the zone here. Could Cooper Clapp possibly force a walk? Got a chance on a 3-0. And he'll do exactly that. 4-pitch walk forced by Cooper Clapp. So he will make his way over to first base. And the tying run is at the plate for MTSU. And nobody better, at least for this weekend in this situation, than Nathan Brewer. Set the record for home runs in a game in Conference USA history yesterday with 4 against FIU. And he has gotten a couple of singles in a row today. Does he have one more home run left in him? High breaking ball in for a strike from Riley. Count goes to 0-1. Brewer hit a ball to every which part of the park for home runs yesterday, left, right, and center, so we know that that won't be a limiting factor. 0-1, low and inside from Riley. Count goes to 1-1. Nathan Brewer talked to in the pregame. Confident as ever. Believer in his abilities and a believer in the approach that MTSU has. But a breaking ball from Riley finds the zone. Count at 1-2. 1-2 with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Does Brewer have an answer? Here comes the 1-2 offering. Brewer swing and a miss. He was going for it all, but this time Riley slams the door on him and delivers out number 2 in the top half of the 9th inning. A strikeout swinging on Brewer, and that'll send on Lane Akers. The last stand for MTSU in this top half of the 9th is right now. Akers struck out looking his last time up. Does have a single in this game back in the 4th. He's also reached on a hit by pitch. Riley, fastball for a strike, counted 0-1. give credit to Tyrus Riley. He is really finding his form late in this game to the chagrin of the Blue Raiders. Akers trying to deliver a game-changing swing. Breaking ball is low for a ball. Count at 1-1. Lane Akers, so far this season with 7 homers, 46 hits, 30 RBIs. 324 batting average, 1-1. This is fouled into the net and over the press box. And I think it went out of the ballpark. So the count now at 1-2. So that's a significant foul ball. And this is it. Akers down to his final strike. MTSU down to their final strike as well. 1-2 with 2 outs. And it's going to be called strike 3 for Tyrus Riley and FIU. A strikeout looking for the second straight time on Lane Akers. Ends game number 2 here in Miami and evens the series between the Blue Raiders and the Panthers. A gut punch of an ending for MTSU after a heck of a fight all day long between these two teams. And the 3-run home run, or 2-run home run, I should say, by Caden Samler in the bottom of the 8th made all the difference late in this contest and elevated FIU to this win. But MTSU, nothing to be ashamed of. This was a battle all the way through to the bitter end. And FIU, at least in this game, was just that little bit better here in Miami on this Saturday afternoon. 7-5 is your final score here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll get ready for our Blue Raider post-game show, and we'll recap the stats from today's Game 2 and preview Game 3 tomorrow between MTSU and FIU. Back in 2 minutes for the Blue Raider post-game show on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
WGNS, the flagship station. WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. Today's game is in the books, and it's time to recap today's action in the Blue Raider postgame show. Today's broadcast on the Blue Raider Network has been brought to you in part by Will Fraley, attorney at law, State Farm Insurance, and Agent Andy Womack, Middle Tennessee Electric, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters. And by Las Casas Drugs. Let's head back to the ballpark for today's Blue Raider postgame show.
Welcome back here to Florida International University. Dylan Simmons with you in Miami, and your final score in game number 2 between Middle Tennessee and FIU is 7-5, with the FIU Panthers claiming the win over Middle Tennessee. And a hard-fought battle tonight. There were twists and turns all the way through this one, but FIU just a step ahead of MTSU throughout the entire way. However, as I said before we went to break, Middle Tennessee has nothing to be ashamed of, and they have everything to fight for in tomorrow's rubber match against the Panthers right back here at FIU Baseball Stadium. Taking a look at our final stats for the night, Owen Nowak ends up with a 2-hit night for MTSU, 1 RBI as well. Cooper Clapp with 1 hit, 1 RBI, and 1 run. Nathan Brewer with a 2-hit day, a couple singles. Not the 4 home runs and 5 total hits he had yesterday, but still a solid outing. Lane Akers with 1 hit and 1 run. Brett Rogers with a couple of RBI swings. 2 hits, 1 RBI on the day, along with a couple of doubles. Dean O'Neill 0 for 4 in today's contest. Brett Von Dolan 1 hit with 2 RBIs, and Clay Badalak ends up going for 1 hit in 4 at-bats for MTSU. It was Von Dolan with the 2 RBI swings, not Rogers. Just wanted to clarify that for all of you listening in. And for our pitchers tonight, Chandler Alderman goes 5 2/3 with 5 earned runs given up for MTSU and 5 hits. 6 total strikeouts, gave up 3 homers to FIU. Landon Birch will be credited with the loss in this game, 1 2/3 with a 2-run home run given up to Caden Samler that basically clinched the game for FIU in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Colin Kerrigan came in late in the bottom half of the 8th with 2/3 of an inning and no hits and no runs given up against the Panthers. Meanwhile, for FIU in this contest, Sammy Fisher ends up with a 2-hit, 3 RBI day and a home run. That was a 3-run homer for the Panthers, by the way, in this contest. Andrew Ildefonso goes for a solo home run shot. Aiden Kohal with 2 runs, 1 hit in the game and 1 RBI. And Caden Samler, 2 hits, including a late 2-run homer to lift the Panthers over Middle Tennessee. And everybody else in the lineup went 0 for, no hits from the bottom half of the lineup for FIU in this game. Julian Majinski goes 3 2/3 innings with 2 earned runs on the mound for FIU and 1 strikeout. George Adams with 3 1/3 innings pitched, no runs, 3 hits given up. And Tyrus Riley will be credited with the win, now 3-3 on the season. 2 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts for the Panthers. These two teams will meet once again tomorrow with the series on the line in a Conference USA rubber match between the Panthers and the Blue Raiders. We will be live from Miami, Florida at 10:45 Central Time for our pregame show tomorrow morning before an 11 a.m. first pitch between Middle Tennessee and FIU. The winner of that game claims the series in Miami and huge momentum for the upcoming CUSA tournament. We will see you for tomorrow's broadcast, but for tonight, that is going to do it. So for my producer back at the station and all of you listening in, our final score from Miami is FIU 7, Middle Tennessee 5 in game number 2 of this weekend series. This has been a presentation of the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. So long and have an electric night, everyone.
Thanks for listening to today's Middle Tennessee State University